don't know the power of sci-fi radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
It's another Thursday. That means Ducky Bay 94. You could be checking us out on sci-fi.radio, sci-fi for your Wi-Fi.
Ooh.
Or you could be watching us over on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch.
Yo.
All sorts of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, totally.
I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is Jeff Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
Thanks for joining us for another Docking Bay 94. Woohoo! Simple stuff.
Oops.
Pretty chill.
Yeah.
Lara's popped in. Dawn is here.
Yeah.
Frequent Falcon Flyer.
Chris.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Good start.
I don't. Oh, there we go.
Sounds off. Okay.
I didn't have the chat.
There we go.
open.
Yeah, I had to make sure that I got the chat
Lori.
too.
Yep.
Good stuff.
And 0 people on YouTube. All right.
You know, they'll get to us eventually. Lori's over on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's good. But, you know, it's a slow start. A rolling thing.
Yep.
No biggie.
I'm still looking at all the Golden Globe dresses, so I'm preoccupied.
Which
Hi, Alan.
we will talk about later on.
Yes,
So, gotcha.
I won't talk about them now.
Yep.
Do you guys want to talk about your weekend?
Sure.
Week? How does that go? How did that go?
Mine was just Disney centric.
Yeah, Sean went to Disney twice.
Yeah, we did Sunday where we met up with Dawn and the Disnerd crowd, which was actually a lot of fun. So they decided that their bounding theme would be onesies, and so Dawn had a Yoda set up, and Aki had a pilot onesie, which got him in a lot of trouble with security on the way into the park.
Yeah, I bet.
Because
Yeah,
they
was.
were like, that's a costume, you can't wear it. He's like, well, it's a onesie, so I mean, it could be pajamas, I guess, but it wasn't like a costume. And it was, it was a big thing. And then we had a couple of Ewoks with us, were very cute, and it was a good crowd. It's always fun to kind of spend the day with a bunch of people that you don't normally hang out at with Disney. So that made it pretty fun, and we just kind of kicked. We didn't do much of anything important.
Gotcha.
It was really fun hanging out with a new group.
Yeah, I agree.
Dawn sent me some pictures, which I put on the Docking Bay
oh, great.
Cool.
thing, so Sean can share them if he wants.
Let me go get them.
Hey, Liz. Liz is watching us now.
Sam says hi from Hoth. I'm assuming that means
Is it
he's,
that cold?
I believe he's under a blanket
Must
of
be
snow.
Chilly.
I see.
Because I know I heard that there was a lot of snow in Oregon, so I'm imagining there was a lot more in Washington.
Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, we did photo pass stuff, which was fun. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Sam says yes, he is under the snow.
Oh dear.
Under the snow.
In the teens.
Under the snow.
Brr.
All right, here we go. Here's a little bit of the group hanging out over by the Millennium Falcon, and so you can kind of see everybody's onesie
Yeah.
setup.
Except
we
Sean
do
and I
not
didn't
have
have
onesies.
onesies.
Yeah, we're onesie.
I
free.
actually do have a onesie, but not a Star Wars onesie.
I see.
Here we go. We went over to DCA. Wow, Aki glows, man, in that orange. That's pretty funny. Like, I don't see a picture of our rebel spy. What's her name? Vanessa? Is that the rebel spy?
I think she left just before we took that picture.
Yeah.
She wasn't there yet in the daytime picture, and she left just before
Yeah.
the nighttime picture was taken.
But when we went on Star Tours, she ended up as the rebel spy, which was very fun.
Gotcha.
And we talked to more people that had been to Japan, like in the past year, I think, than we've found so far. It was really, really fascinating.
Cool.
Beth asked if we were able to renew our Disney pass, but our passes renew in September and October.
I see.
So we're not.
So that sort of fixes that problem.
Yeah, we're not part of that.
We didn't have to worry about it. We just had to decide whether we were going to do it or not. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, though, the whole Magic Key Mayhem thing was absolutely nuts today. Everybody I knew who didn't have a pass and wanted one jumped onto the computer at like 8:45 to try and be in position to get their Magic Keys started because it was like open season on the Magic Keys. And it could not have been more like San Diego Comic-Con ticket requests. And even to the behavior of the people who were trying to get it, I saw my people on Facebook getting really upset because they were trying to log into Disney's server and they were getting their little spinning wheel of death as things were buffering. But the people would post pictures of like 2, 3, 4 screens at the same time going, I'm connected with all of these devices and I can't get through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you think you might be part of the problem? If everybody's connecting with their phone and their computer and their other computer and their laptop and their iPad and like trying to get as many connections as possible in the hopes that one plays through, you just might be part of the problem. I'm just saying.
Kit says the line at the park was 4 hours.
Yesterday we saw that line. It was crazy, and there were so many people just switchbacking through the chains trying to get their passes stuff like taken care of and whatnot. And what surprised me, I think, is that the pass that didn't sell out, the one that you could get by the time you finally logged in at like 8 p.m. or whatever, was the cheapest pass.
Okay.
I thought the most expensive one would be the one that had extra ones. And everyone I was talking to, our friends who were trying to get it, were like, well, if I got to buy the $16.50 pass, because that's all that's left, I guess I'll do it. But that was not the one that was left. The like $400 pass was left.
Bizarre.
So yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Bizarre. Ow.
But yeah, it was certainly the talk of Disneyland yesterday, and there were people sort of camped in line, and it was kind of crazy.
E4, okay.
But yeah, it was a pretty serious mess, and it's a thing that we hear every year, but usually in connection with San Diego Comic-Con, where people are like, I can't get Comic-Con tickets, I'm waiting in line, their servers crashed, they did whatever.
Or, surprisingly, Jane Austen Evening is the same way.
Oh, really?
Believe it or
That's
not.
funny.
Yes, it is.
The Doctor Who con was like that. The
Gallifrey.
Gallifrey, yeah.
Gallifrey.
Gallifrey's like that, too.
I mean, I guess if you have a limited attendance experience, that's bound to happen these days. Now that you don't have to. I miss the old days of San Diego Comic-Con where you bought your tickets for next year before you left.
Yeah.
You basically went, well, okay, the last part of my day is going to be concerned with getting my Comic-Con tickets for next year. And they certainly weren't as expensive as they are now. No. And, if you wanted to do the whole weekend, you might pay like $75, $80. And now I think it's up to more than $300.
I don't know.
It's kind of crazy. So, I only go to San Diego Comic-Con if I'm on a panel now. Or we're doing the Masquerade giveaway or something like that. Something I need a job there that gets me in.
Yeah, because otherwise, man.
Right.
Well, it also
That's
gives
crazy.
you something to do because it's so, I don't know, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise.
in the interest of full disclosure regarding conventions and Colleen and myself, we need a job at the convention. We need a thing to do. We have to be at the costume repair station. We have to be at the on a panel. or working on a show, if we're putting on a show or something, or I'm DJing a dance, I need a task.
Yeah, I don't
Because
like to go if I don't have a job.
we suck at just hanging around. And it's not that we don't hang around once we're there, but if we sit there and we're like, okay, at 3 p.m. we're back at costume repair and we're going to be there for 2 hours, we've got structure to our day.
Yeah.
As opposed to like just wandering aimlessly.
I think that might be why I like Galaxy's Edge so much. Because I can dress to fit in the land.
Yes.
And I can go to the land and just hang out there, and that's my home base.
Right. And there is kind of a purpose to going.
Yeah.
And I like when people
And I
ask.
fit in there.
I like when people ask for tours. And they're like, hey, you know this place, show me around. And I love like meeting people and doing that. My trip yesterday just involved Road Squadron people. So
gotcha.
Afonso has the Star Wars Tesla. He's got it wrapped with Star Wars graphics and has done all sorts of cool lighting to it. And set off his lighting while he was there in the park. We were in DCA or something. He was parked in Toy Story. And he set off his flashy lights and stuff and was watching the camera off his Tesla, watching people mess with his car.
Oh.
Wow.
Which was pretty funny. We had Janet and Janet's son, Ron. Ron has a Jurassic Park vehicle, and he also has the Star Wars Corvette. He's got like an 82 Corvette Stingray that he's done up as a TIE fighter, which is really great. So they were there, and then there was myself, and we just kind of kicked around and did whatever. I think I went on more rides yesterday than I have in quite a while, because they're like, well, let's go here now, let's go there, and Janet basically every time we got in line for a ride, she'd set up another fast pass, and then we'd go to another ride, and she'd set up a fast pass, and we'd go to another ride. And we just like bounced from ride to ride to ride to ride, which was pretty cool. So we did like Rise of the Resistance, we did Soarin' over California, and the Cars Racers, and all of that. We were in a whole bunch of stuff. So
That's cool.
Yeah, and Fonz had never been on Soarin' before, which was really great. So we got to have that kind of cool thing. Gregor is commenting on his awesome sign, right? Which I guess he didn't listen last week when we debuted the sign.
I know.
Gave him all sorts of props for making it. It's all about timing, Gregor.
Yeah.
It's
powered by lava.
Lava.
You can tell by the orange color.
And which we can change if we want to do. I think I had it animated last week, and I got lazy this week. I'm just like, here we go. But anyway, so I had a fun day yesterday, just kind of kicking around and checking stuff out and not doing anything important. And I left relatively early, so I got back reasonably early, and that was kind of nice.
I heard this rumor that Gregor has a CNC machine.
Yeah, that rumor's been going around.
Right.
He's apparently been using it for projects and stuff. So,
right. So
if you need a
Jeff,
CNC machine,
have you heard that Gregor has a CNC machine?
No way. I mean, I hear he uses clamps, but that could be all.
Well, I mean,
that could be a whole story.
The clamps, Jeff, they're just old news.
Right.
That's old news.
You guys, there's a picture of a music store that has 4 shelves full of accordions and a big sign that says limit 2 per family.
That's pretty funny.
Big poster of Weird Al in the background.
Right. Jeff, what about you?
Not really a lot. I mean,
Didn't you go to the park? I saw that you went to a park.
Yeah, I mean, we on. I want to say it was Sunday, but I'm not sure. But I think it was Sunday morning. Went to the park, and there's Owen, Abria, myself, and then it was Owen's dog Alistair and Ahsoka. We took them all. We went and walked at the park at like about 6 in the morning or something. Basically, 6 or so.
That's too early.
Yeah, we try. Whenever we go, or whenever I go, I try to get there like basically right before they open or something. You can still get in at that time, like 6:30 or so. But they officially open after that, like at 7. But I try to get there earlier, so there's not really anyone there. You know.
Do they charge you for parking in that park?
Yeah.
So, like, if you get there early, do you skirt the parking fee?
Sometimes not. Yeah, it all depends. You know. But we may have gotten there like right around 7, but I can't remember. But yeah, and just kind of walk the dogs around and talk and stuff, and that's about it. Get exercise.
Sounds like a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to tell you one of the highlights of my weekend. On Saturday, we have shelves on our laundry room. There are shelves, and there's an opening that has more vertical room than horizontal room, and we keep like brooms and the ironing board and a step stool, all that sort of stuff in there. And we took it all apart, cleaned it out. Sean put up clamps that hold all the brooms up.
Wow.
And I keep walking by and petting the little area because I'm so happy with how organized it is.
Anything with a stick we can hold up now. So there are 2 racks. There's one on the west wall that holds up like brooms and mops and that kind of stuff over there. It's got a couple of hooks, and we're hanging some stuff off of it. And the dustpans and things are there. And then on the south wall, like just right next to it, we've got the thing holding up the flags that we put out for various holidays, and the umbrellas and stuff, and that kind of thing. And so and then the one of the hooks is actually situated pretty well to kind of keep the stepladder from falling over, which also keeps the ironing board in place. So it's pretty organized. It's pretty nice over there, and it's definitely better than it was. So, yay!
It's organized.
It's
making me happy.
Although, boy, it was really interesting. This house was built in 1950, and I was looking for studs to drill into to anchor these things. Mm-hmm. No such luck. It's got like the weirdest haphazardy kind of thing going on over there, and it really is just kind of like bizarre. It's almost like that part of the wall was like an afterthought or something. Really, really weird.
I mean, there's like that door that's still there.
That goes from the bathroom to the laundry room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because what's essentially our laundry room is really the back porch.
Yeah.
And so you could walk in from the back and go into the bathroom from the right, or the kitchen to the left. And so there was a door that did dual duty. And I'm not even sure that door was part of the original construction of the house. It may have been something they added later on.
Could be. Much
like the intercom system that was there in the house, that kind of thing. The back door did have, and does still have, a doorbell.
Yeah.
So that people could make deliveries to the back and stuff, which was really kind of strange because it's got a detached garage in the backyard. And I suppose if you didn't have fences or something, you could do that.
Maybe when they built the place, it didn't have much line of fences.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any pictures of the really early days of this house.
We didn't, when we moved in, there were no fences. There were no gates across either side of the house. It was all just open.
Yeah.
But there was a dog when we first moved here. There was a dog that kept running around the neighborhood that kept ending up in our backyard, which was kind of weird. And we ended up with fences or gates.
Kelly asked over on the chat, "Is it lath and plaster?" No, it's a little too late for lath and plaster. It is actually drywall, and it's a really weird drywall that you like or sheetrock, they sometimes call it too. That either is really sturdy or it's really weak, depending on like how old it is and what type it is. It's really bizarre. So sometimes, in a lot of cases, it's like plaster sheeted with paperboard on either sides of it, and you can drill into it, and it's not a problem. And so when I put these things up, they're there was no need for anchors using the drywall screws that came with it. There were no need for anchors because it anchored right into the sheetrock, and it was very solid, and it wasn't having a problem. But we've had other difficulties where I've tried to put up a nail for a picture, something really simple and small, and you poke into it, and then it's like you just let the sand out of an hourglass.
It just crumbles away.
And it just pours out, which is really kind of crazy. And then you've got to sort of open it up, and you have to anchor it with epoxy and seal it off and do all this sort of retro repair thing, which I've gotten really good at because of that. So there's little tests I do before I start drilling into walls and things just to find out what kind of material it is. It's way more complicated than it ought to be. And I think it was just because this house in 1950 is maybe one of those, it's using sort of transitional materials as they move past lath and plaster and they go to sheetrock. That's my theory. But I don't know for sure. But it's kind of interesting to do stuff like that here. So we're always really super careful to find out how it's going to react.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, Sam posted a video on his Facebook page of the snow they're getting.
Oh, really?
It's a lot.
Oh, I got to go see. Let me go take a look.
Nice.
I mean, it's not as much as the time when we got snowed in at my grandma's cabin, but it's a lot more snow than we ever
Well, I think the
usually
last
see.
snow we encountered was the
blizzard we got stuck in at
in Big
Big
Bear.
Bear?
Yeah, which was absolutely nuts.
Snow.
Yeah, this is definitely snow. Hang on, let me show you guys what Sam is dealing with right now. Let's see. I can make this
New
work.
person. Hi, Vicky.
Here you go. Here is Sam's snow. It reminds me very much of when we were in Pine up in Arizona. Except that round table that you see in the corner, that would have been about 2.5 feet higher, full of snow. It looked like a giant marshmallow was sitting on top of the table, but very similar.
Mr. Stay Puffed.
It's pretty nice. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And only because I don't have to deal with that kind of cold.
I was going to say, you like it because you neither have to drive in it, nor do you have to shovel it.
Right. Well, and we have been getting temperatures here, to be fair. We're in Southern California. We're over by the ocean, which tends to be 20 degrees cooler than other places. We have been getting temperatures down to 43, 44, 45 degrees.
Yeah.
And it has been really chilly.
Yeah.
For our area. It's nothing like, getting 30 degrees anywhere else
lower.
or anything like that. Yeah. So
it's not Big Bear cold.
yes, it is not Big Bear cold. But that's the nice thing about Southern California is you can drive to Big Bear and go, I would like to be in the snow for a couple of days. And then, go rent a place and go visit. And you can drive to skiing, and then you can drive to the beach or the desert or the whatever. You have these options. As opposed to I went back for a wedding to the Pittsburgh, which is the city of my birth, and I remember being a kid in Pennsylvania and how big the snow got, and me being a tiny little kid. We used to have these sunken subterranean driveways, and if you walked off the porch in the wrong direction, you basically dropped about 6-8 feet through the snow.
Wow.
And you would have to look up through the hole and call for, a parent to come rescue you because, when you're only 2.5 feet tall or something, you're just going to be like, bah. We were, the milk delivery that was still happening at the time, your milk would freeze if you didn't get to your milk in time and stuff. It was kind of crazy. And so going back for this wedding and just this crazy snow and slush and being old enough to appreciate how people were dealing with it and people who couldn't drive in it and the black ice on the walkways and all this crazy stuff. And then having been in California for enough years that my blood kind of thinned out. You didn't have that, I grow up in this hardy climate kind of a deal. Was really kind of interesting. It was really so, but it's cool to visit something like that once in a while, and then come home to your house where it doesn't, the snow doesn't come to you. You go to it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I've lived here my whole life. I don't.
Yeah, but you've visited snow a lot.
A lot?
Well,
No.
I mean, you've taken
Like-
train trips to.
3 times.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 4 times.
Okay, 3 times.
That is not a lot.
Fair enough.
Okay, so should we move on and talk about Star Wars? I know it's early, but
No, we can go for it.
okay. Jeff?
Yes. I am answering a question from somebody elsewhere. Okay. Yes. So, we have 2 birthdays. The first one is January 5th, 1929. Russ Manning, who worked on the comic strips, the newspaper from 79 to 80. And he actually did some works for like Gold Key and such as well. So he did like
cool.
Juggle Tales of Tarzan and stuff like that.
Well, and he used to write, but he
Yeah,
also used to
robots.
pencil the art too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rare.
I have to say that when I read that birthday thing, I had to say, excuse me, there were comic strips in the newspaper for Star
Star
Wars
Wars?
in 79 and 80. I totally don't remember that.
They were a daily comic strip, sort of in the Flash Gordon kind of vein, and the Sunday strips were the big
Excuse me.
style ones.
Yeah.
And those were always in color.
Yeah.
Which were really cool.
His art style is was really cool. I love it. I love the look of his art.
His portraits were always really good, as were like Al Williamson's and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll show you real quick his own self-portrait,
Yeah.
which is
That's free.
pretty great.
Yeah.
This is his self-portrait
Yeah.
that he did of him.
Yeah.
And his as a caricaturist, he was terrific.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really sold the Star Wars comics was everybody looked like who they were supposed to look like.
Yep.
And that's the biggest problem I have with comic books, where they do something where it's like, that doesn't look anything like Mark Hamill or Harrison Ford, or conversely, even if they're drawing a fictional character that has no real world counterpart and is supposed to just look like, Peter Parker or Superman or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't look right. You're just like, it just puts me right off.
Okay, also, I would like to ask if there are really thinking plants on Kashyyyk. Because I just looked up Star Wars daily comic strips and Russ Manning and came up with a comic that says, laser saws and armor are meaningless against the fury of the thinking plants of Kashyyyk. Tell these feisty flowers to get out of my way, Chewie.
Yeah.
Some of these people are innocent of harming the plants. And then he
I-
says, easy girl, I'm friendly.
Yeah.
They were,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was not exactly always like just that. Much like the Marvel run, there was a lot of weird stuff that did go on in these.
I mean,
Call off these plants, Chewie. This
Yeah.
female wasn't harming them.
Yeah.
there were supposed to be like moving plants of Kashyyyk. I don't remember thinking plants of Kashyyyk.
But I mean, and I'm looking at different artwork that he did for like John Carter and stuff, and it's just really, really amazing work. Reminds me of the Xenozoic Tells and such, like Cadillacs of Dinosaurs and that kind of artwork. Very,
well,
very
here's
stylized.
He
here's
sure does a lot of Tarzan.
Yeah.
Or did.
Yeah.
Here's a Star Wars panel. Oh my gosh! So one of his panels, one of the original Sunday comic strip panels, is being sold for $12,500.
Only?
And it's being
Where's that?
it was discounted from 15.
Okay.
So let me
You show
call
it?
this up
Okay.
for you.
Yeah.
There we go. So
It's
there's
freaking
one of his
amazing.
Sunday
Great work.
Star Wars
There it goes.
panels.
Yeah, it's like this is great, and like even like I love the inking work and stuff, and oh man, love this.
One of the scientists is trying to leave the party, Chewie.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to tell, but she's wearing clothes.
Yeah.
In that picture.
Is she
This is
being?
true.
I think it's the same comic I was talking about
Yeah, it's all
because
torn. Yeah.
she's being attacked by plants,
By the
and you
plant.
can see the very bottom here underneath us actually has the same wording in it as the. Yeah, it's the same one. I was seeing this side of it. You can't see what I'm pointing at.
I can't.
I was seeing the left side of it.
Interesting.
Feisty
Feisty
Just
flowers.
realized we're not on Zoom. No one can see my
This is
pointer.
amazing.
And if you'll notice, Kashyyyk spelled wrong from what is
Well,
typical
I mean, geez, you know,
to
holiday
Oh,
what is
special.
wow.
now considered
Yeah.
canon.
Kazhyyyk.
Right.
I mean, the holiday special called it Kazook, you know, so
That's
Did it?
yes.
Gesundheit.
The entire thing was hysterical.
It's fun to look at this kind of stuff and see, like, you know, the whiteout and the repairs and the goof ups and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's also weird that I ended up with exactly the same thing that that you were looking at.
Yeah.
But there you go. You want
Yeah.
that panel? It's only
But yeah.
$12,500.
It's, you know, I can see, I think this is a lot of, like, Mark Schultz probably had a lot of, was probably influenced by like a lot of this kind of work. Anyway, next person on the list, January 10th, 1947. That's when George Alec Effinger, if I'm pronouncing that right, was born. He wrote The Great God Quay, The Tale of Barada and the Weequays. That's his Star Wars connection.
And was that one of the
Where are
tales
the
of
credits
the?
showing?
I think it's one of the newer. Yeah, that's gonna probably. He passed away in 2002, so it's probably not one of the newer ones. Probably fairly old.
Gosh, I cannot type to save my life.
But he did do some brief stuff for like Marvel Comics and stuff. But mostly it's normal, normal books like Schrodinger's Kitten and.
Sean, do you have the credits on purpose?
No, I don't.
I think it's just being goofy.
It's sometimes the program just likes to show whatever screen it's going to show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was from Tales from Jabba's Palace.
Yeah.
Which was one of the collection books that was like from a certain point of view, the books
Yeah.
they have now, but it preceded those. It was Tales from Jabba's Palace, Tales from the Empire, Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina.
Okay. Cause
My favorite was Tales from Mos Eisley
Yeah,
Cantina.
because this one, if he, that's weird because it's saying that he passed away in 2002, so he must have written it before then, and they collected it way back then because the book came out after 2002, correct?
No, the book came out in 1995.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a
Okay, I'm
paperback.
thinking of a different book series.
Yeah, it's a paperback book,
okay.
and it came out in
Okay,
1995.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of the newer one.
No, it was edited by Kevin J. Anderson.
Okay,
It's pretty old school.
gotcha. Okay, and lots of other sci-fi and stuff that he wrote as well. And then we have the regular history of January 5th, 1975. That's when the first painting was presented to help sell the movie, to help pitch the movie for Star Wars. Ralph McQuarrie's Droids in the Desert.
Well, and if you don't know a lot about Ralph McQuarrie, he was a artist who worked for like Boeing and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
doing space art in the to like sell satellites and stuff. And so when Lucas met him, everybody pretty much went, "Oh my God, what a great way to sell the movie."
Yeah.
Gosh, I keep trying to come up with this picture for you. But
Droids?
what's really interesting is that most of these locations that have this picture will not allow me to view it. Here we go. I was just trying to isolate it individually. This is also the painting that sold Anthony Daniels on the project.
Yeah.
So he looked at this painting and he saw something in 3PO that wasn't just a robot. He saw humanity in it, and he went, okay, I can play this part.
Yeah.
I can do this. But yeah, it was really interesting. You can see the context and connection with Metropolis and how Maria from
totally.
Metropolis influenced C-3PO. And R2-D2 had a completely different mode of transportation. He worked like he was on crutches. And so he'd throw his first foot forward, rock forward, put his side legs down, and then throw his front foot forward. And that's how they were going to have R2 get around, like a human does when they're on crutches. It's just kind of weird. And then, of course, they gave him wheels and made things so much more simple.
Yeah.
Really fun. But yeah, it's a neat kind of arrangement that the movie wouldn't have been sold without these paintings.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised. I mean, I shouldn't be, but at the year on it, 1975.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lucas tried to sell this project for a really long time. And at first he wanted to make Close Encounter, or not Close Encounters. He wanted to make Flash Gordon. And he went to like Universal and all the other film studios going, let me make a Flash Gordon movie. This could be amazing. Let's update it. Let's do whatever. And they're like, nah, Flash Gordon's so old school. It doesn't really matter who's going to be interested in doing that. And so Lucas then went and wrote his own thing. And he basically did just what Zack Snyder did with his Rebel Moon thing.
Oh, boy.
Because, he basically said, I want to make this Star Wars project. And they said no. And he went and turned it into his own thing. Lucas did exactly that for Star Wars, where he couldn't make the Flash Gordon movie he wanted to do as an homage to the serials he grew up with. So he wrote his own thing.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
and the only thing that sold this was these paintings.
Yeah.
Were the things that really just swayed everybody. Because if you can make, and if you look at the painting, you'll notice it's film aspect ratio.
Yes.
It's not just like a concept thing. It's not like 8.5 by 11. It's not a portrait thing. This is a film frame, and he ended up doing 12 of these things, I think. And after the movie was a huge success, they released these that you could then frame and put up in your own homes. They released them as an art portfolio. It's really, really quite fascinating how something like this makes its way through film history, especially on a project that is so successful, like Star Wars.
Surprising. I'll tell you.
But the art, I can't get out of this painting now. The art itself, there we go.
Yeah.
Is it works on its own outside of the movie, but it is so connected to the movie and so descriptive of it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it survives past Ralph, who's of course now passed away. I'm glad that it still speaks to people.
Yeah. Lisa, that's pretty much what they based Chopper off of.
Oh yeah, completely. He's a shorter, stubbier guy with additional arms for emphasis.
Yes.
And one of the pictures that we took at the Millennium Falcon this weekend with the Disnerds, they had us do a strongman pose so that they could then put Chopper in it with his arms up.
Oh, okay.
In the hero pose. It was pretty funny stuff.
Next, January 8th, 1976 is when John Mallow completed the final art for the look of Obi-Wan's robes.
Which Prop Store auctioned. I can't tell when this auction was, but they auctioned off the original drawings at between 800 and 1,200 pounds.
Wow.
But I can't log in, so I don't have an account there, so I can't tell.
John Mallow is really interesting because I know a lot of people who did not go into like costume design, fashion design, because they were not particularly good artists. and they're like, I can't draw costumes. I can't do
Neither
that
can
kind of
John
stuff.
Mallow.
He really couldn't. And it's funny to look at some of the books and see the quality of his art because it's really basic. And Ralph McQuarrie then went on to redo a lot of these sketches and things and more dynamic stuff. And like Han Solo, John Mallow's sketches are like really very boring and his arms are at his side. And he's like, "Rrr." And then you get a bunch of really cool, very detailed, like too detailed, so much detail that they just never made it into a costume of like Han Solo. And he's like fixing his gun or he's in a dynamic shooting pose or he's got something going on. So different from John Mallow, who the primary action, this is the most action-oriented John Mallow pose I've ever seen because he's got his hand on his belt. But if you look in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the swatches of the colors and the materials that they wanted to use for the costume, which is really kind of interesting. But John Mallow came from a background of designing costumes for military movies.
Yeah.
And so he knew uniforms really, really well. And so when it came to designing the Imperial uniforms and things like that, he used his experience with that and with armor and that kind of thing to make the Empire look like a legitimate military organization and to make the rebels look organized but ragtag.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he really contributed so much to the costume designs of this. And how much did you say this went for, Colleen?
I don't know, but it was between 812,000. No, there's not enough.
8,000 and 12,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you just talk about? I completely missed it about how Andrew Mallow is
John Mallow.
John Mallow's younger brother, and he's an expert in military uniforms.
Yeah. So I didn't find that sketch, but Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan robe was found accidentally in a group of party rental costumes. And when somebody realized what the heck it was, of course they Angels and Bermans, who were the costume guys for Star Wars and Raiders and a bunch of Lucasfilm Spielberg movies, they auctioned it off, and it went for £54,000.
Wow.
For a beat up, mislabeled, lost and found again Obi-Wan Kenobi wool robe.
Nice.
Kind of amazing.
There's another John Mallow sketch over at Christie's that says Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars 1977, and it looks more like an elf than it does like a Jedi.
Wow.
Yeah, that happens
bizarre.
sometimes too, and some of them were just like really weird. Like, I'm trying to get at this one here. Let me make sure they're not. Oh no, they're gonna make me pay to read it, which is really too bad.
Rude.
There was a really fun kind of goofy sketch that and the
Oh, I have to read this. So this particular sketch of Obi-Wan Kenobi was done in 1976 because on the bottom right, it's dated. It says John Mallow 76. And then he wrote a description of the costume as brownie desert robe, black braid, slightly off-white full-length kimono, half full sleeves, stole of the same, girdle, biscuit color, undershirt.
color.
Yeah.
See, this
Undershirt, kimono type, breeches, boots. And then in pencil, it has some drawing of the items described above that are really hard to see in this picture, but
Wow.
That's awesome.
it's pretty neat.
I'm going to show you two contrasting designs. I don't think this is John Mallow. I think this one is Ralph McQuarrie. But I'll show you the John Mallow one first. I am down to do this costume. This honestly, This should probably be my Batu bound. This
I tell
costume
ya.
right here.
I tell you.
This is great. If you look on the right-hand side, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Nice.
All that gear, all that cool stuff
Yeah.
going on.
So, Sean, I shared the
Vader.
Christie's drawing in Docking Bay 94 because it's pretty neat.
Oh, okay.
Vader looks
go
pretty
get
funny.
it. And
I feel like they might argue with you over wearing this as a Disney bound.
only if I look like I work too much in Batu.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so you. Oh yeah, this was one of the ones I was trying to get to also. Here, let me throw this up over here. There you go. So there's the one Colleen was describing. The same action arm on the belt. Ooh, I love that they call him a brownie.
Yeah.
I think that's a description of the color
He's
of what he's
not a
wearing.
Oh, maybe.
Daikini,
Look at
you
that!
know,
Look at
so-
that hood.
Yeah, he looks like an elf.
Right, completely.
And his it's brown-y, so it's reddish brown
Right.
with black braid.
Is there
Okay.
like a little tassel?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got a little thing hanging off the thing. So back to this one. If you look at John
That's
Mullo's
awesome.
design, here is a quickie. This is a thumbnail sketch of Obi-Wan Kenobi from Ralph McQuarrie, and you can kind of see the difference in
Oh, yeah.
dynamics and
Jeez.
design. And this isn't like super detailed.
He
Thi-
looks much more serious.
and this
Yeah.
is the one that they made the action figure out of.
Wow.
Which, gosh, do I have one up here still? I used to have it
Oh,
up here
boy.
somewhere, but maybe I don't. No, I have R2 and 3PO up here, which is really kind of interesting. But I love all these sort of like prequel, or not prequel, but pre-film designs.
Yeah, the concept arc. Man, totally.
Let's see. Do I have a? Where's my camera? I
That's
can't
very
find it. I have
bizarre.
Colleen. I have Jeff. Where's me? Oh, here's me. Okay, so here's me. So I'm going to show you guys this. This was an action figure set that they did of those prequel kind of 3PO and R2, or the preview kind of things. It was
Yeah.
kind of neat. So it's a very chopper R2
Yep.
with the extra hands up there, and C3PO who's got, very serious kind of look. So,
How you feel?
but anyway, they did an Obi-Wan version of that too, which was really kind of neat. And I don't know what I did. It used to be up here, but
I'm just getting a weird.
I moved stuff around. But yeah, John Mollo doesn't get as much credit as Ralph McQuarrie does. He deserves it. But again, his art's not as dynamic as Ralph McQuarrie's.
Yeah.
And so I kind of get it.
I mean, Chewie looks kind of weird, but
But actually,
gets the point across.
let
though.
me flip back over to here. And this page.
Yeah.
This is his sketchbook getting detailed on like Vader's costume.
Yeah.
Where he's doing all the individual elements and things underneath and the layers.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing, which are pretty cool.
Yeah, they have, like vastly different.
But
looking.
I mean, look how different all of this stuff kind of look. But you kind of see like they had agreed on the look of Vader's face mask, but they're like, well, what should we add these wings to it? Should we do other stuff to it? Really, really kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
It's just something else.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff.
there's a Vader in the upper corner that looks like the Obi-Wan kind of robe got thrown on Vader, just to see if that looked cool.
Yeah.
Wow, with an Avengers patch.
Right. It's on Vader's helmet on the left too, which is really funny.
Weird.
And there was that cloak style reminds me of the Wizard in Speed and Time.
John Mollo's Chewbacca is a little bit chunky.
Yeah.
All of them
Eating
were.
too much pudding.
Bizarre.
Even Ralph McQuarrie's were really bad.
And he has no neck.
Yeah.
This Wookiee has no neck. I like this guy who's got like he's the gunner and he's got this big huge scoop, coming out of the gunner mask. They reined that way back for the movie. And then he was trying to come up with designs and stuff at the bottom that were like patches and things. One of them just looks like a pie.
Pie.
The world?
Right. There's some on the
Yeah,
right
it totally
too.
looks like a lettuce work pie or something.
It's,
Yeah,
right.
geez.
Look at the
One
ones
of
on the
the,
right. They just
yeah.
look like pies.
Yeah.
So I've got a Vader. I've got a bunch of sketches of John Mallow that were in Esquire magazine, and one of them is an early sketch of Vader where he's holding out the edges of his robe like he's a princess.
Pretty princess.
So awesome.
That's really
Yeah.
funny. Anyway, if you have the Art of Star Wars book that came out in the late 70s, there was a hardcore version and a paperback soft cover version of it. John Mallow is heavily featured in there. He designed a lot of the aliens and things. I mean, he did really good work. He gets almost no credit for it because Ralph McQuarrie's the star. He's the really good artist.
Yeah.
But John Mallow was the really good costume guy. And if you look at the stuff Ralph McQuarrie did, it's way too elaborate to put in the movie. And if you look at the stuff John Mallow did, it's a little too simplistic. They kind of met in the middle.
Yeah.
There are some sketches of Han Solo back when he was a girl in John Mallow's costume.
Actually, that
sketches.
was Luke. Luke was the girl.
Yeah.
And Han. So Luke and
This
Leia.
says Han Solo and looks like a girl. Maybe it's just.
I think that's a goof. So what happened was like Obi-Wan got split into Obi-Wan and Han, and Leia got split into Leia and Luke, and but I love the early designs where she's like wearing this sort of like skin tight costume and sort of like little briefs, and she's got a gun belt, and there's this like collar that runs from the collar to the belt. All these really very interesting designs. And there's also a poster design. I'm not going to find it because I want it. That is almost like the regular sort of movie poster, but it shows these really earlier characters. Here, let's see if I can get this for you. This is sort of the oh, I found it. It's here. Excellent. So this is and he looks like Lucas, and it's a complete coincidence, by the way. But this is Obi-Han and like Luke Leia. It's this weird mix of the two of them.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
you can tell she's a female.
Yeah.
And you've got like this, strapping bearded dude who really did turn out to look a lot like Lucas down the road. Lucas looked nothing like this when they were doing the movie.
Yeah.
And look at how freaking detailed those costumes are. It's just like too much for the movie.
That's what a lot of the that little comic series they did. I think it was like Dark Horse or something.
That used the original version 1 of the script.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. And this, what else we got? Here was the design. On the left is what Leia pretty much ended up looking like. On the right is what she
Very
was,
kind of like Flash Gordon-y, really.
Right. And we saw a lot of that kind of influence in Padme eventually when we got Padme.
Yeah.
But Leia could have been. This one completely makes me laugh. It could have been, complete Flash Gordon.
Yeah, totally.
Which was really,
Awesome.
really, really funny. And
It's like a 1930s Penmore.
I don't think she's got any leggings at all. She's got that like this weird Barbarella-y sort of brief thing going on. And if you look at the early Ralph McQuarrie paintings, Leia was a blonde, which is really funny. So they're about to swing over the Death Star, and there's some blonde chick with long hair that like Luke's trying to help her out with.
Yeah.
I like this sort of like, this is so like Maid Marian looking to me, which is just like kind of nice. Ralph McQuarrie did some really great stuff and then when they started, splitting things over into Luke and Leia,
Yeah.
there was they still had to make her look kind of feminine, and then they had
Excuse me.
this masculine guy. And
Yeah.
I was hoping that they had one of Ralph's Chewbacca things in here because, and that's not Asian inspired at all, by the way. And yeah, but eventually, things sort of settled down, and Ralph McQuarrie's paintings got, matched the rest of the universe.
Oh yeah. I mean, you mean where it's Chewbacca, where he's got like shorts and stuff, or is it a different one?
Not even that. Well, the very first Chewbacca, he looked like Zeb
Yeah.
from
Yeah, that's kind of what they
Rebels.
That's kind of where they got it from. Yeah.
Right, but when he started becoming a hairy guy, he was this really short, squat, bushy dude.
Yeah. There's a few of them. Yeah. There's like 2 different versions, but yeah, that they see of that.
I will show you, since we're kind of already on on the thing here. These are some of the storyboards where you're like, that's Chewbacca? Which is like, really? That was going to be Chewbacca?
Yes.
Because he was described as like completely different.
Totally based on his dog, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It turned out to be. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So this is what Han and Chewie were gonna be.
Yeah.
And Chewie looks I think he looks like John Lithgow in this picture. But that's just me.
A little bit, yeah.
But he looks a lot like Zeb did in Rebels.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where they took the inspiration for Zeb.
Totally.
Oh, interesting.
Which is really kind of cool.
Exactly where they got it.
And you can see he's not particularly hairy. He was more like a lizard, which was kind of crazy.
A little bit. I think Han at one point was the green lizard dude for a little while.
I'm trying to see.
Where that is, but
these guys are all over the map with their concept art. So,
but there's like Chewbacca where he's just basically all hair with a bandolier and a stuff, and he's a little wide, yeah.
Well, and they were asked to put pants on him because like you can't just have a naked hairy guy running around. Here we go. Here's the good picture that I want. And right, Wookiee lederhosen. Let's see. Here's a picture that I think gets that across a little bit. And he's very sort of mole-ish.
Yeah.
And then you see the guy on the left who looks like Zeb.
Poofy, yeah.
Anyway, fascinating character progression. On all of that stuff, and I'm sure it makes for great radio because we've been doing all this video stuff.
Spin out 2 more minutes,
Amazing.
Sean, and then you can talk about the top of the hour.
Hey, all right. I would. Oh, here's the action figure that they eventually ended up doing.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get a really good picture of the action figure. Here we go. This should do it. Oh no, it doesn't get any bigger than that. That's rude. All right, here, I'm going to show you guys the concept action figure they did, and he's got exactly that John Lithgow look.
Yeah.
Which is just really kind of funny. He looks a little startled. He's like, "Huh?" Chewbacca the Derp. But anyway, if you ever find these action figures, they're really great. They were a limited edition release that were specifically done off of Ralph McQuarrie's designs. But by their very nature, they can't help but have some of John Mollo's influences too.
Oh yeah.
They just took Ralph McQuarrie art specifically to do it, and yeah, it was really neat. I love when they do stuff like that. And there is that Dark Horse comic series which is called The Star Wars.
Yes.
And it is the original version 1 script with, Deke Starkiller and all of that kind of stuff running around doing stuff. And it's got, their inspiration was all of that original art that got thrown by the wayside because who could afford it?
Yeah.
To do that stuff. It's amazing we got Stormtrooper armor, and Vader was as cool as he was.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a huge investment. But, there's a reason that Mark Hamill is wearing bleached Levi's and a karate gi as Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
So it's not bad. I'll remind you guys that you could be listening to us over at sci-fi.radio, sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. It's a 24/7 radio station that plays nerd music and shows all the time. I have a show in the morning at 9 a.m. You can come join me to wrap out the week tomorrow if you want, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And we have listeners right now over on the station from the United States, India, Canada, Estonia, and the Russian Federation are joining us right now. And in fact, I think I have a city in India I don't have in my list. So I'm going to add you to the list. So thanks for tuning in. And then you could be watching us on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. YouTube's the best place. If you missed the show, you can go catch up on it.
Yeah.
They get archived over there under the live tab. Make sure you look at the live tab. And of course, they hang out on our Facebook page for a while. And so if you want to refer us to someone else and go, hey, you might enjoy the show, please do. That'd be really great. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is Jeff Donoho.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
We operate our show off of a master list of elements that Kit compiles from our chat during the week. So thanks to Kit for doing all of that. We have an ongoing chat where we go, hey, this story is cool. And she helps Jeff choose the Star Wars history and stuff and all that. So we're very grateful for her time and energy. We don't get paid for this show, by the way. The station, maybe someday that will change, but the station just doesn't rock enough money to do that. So, we are all volunteers. So don't think we're getting rich off of this stuff.
So the next topic will have a lot of stories and things to talk about from Sean as well. So,
the last of the history.
Yeah.
Yes. January 9th, 1987 was Star Tours opens at Disneyland.
Star Tours was we were looking forward to that so much. I couldn't believe it. And then Disney did a really cool thing. They were open for like 60 hours straight. Which was pretty unusual for Disney.
I was talking to somebody that I work with on the phone yesterday, I think, and she said it was 72 hours.
It probably was. I'm sure they just did 3 solid days or whatever, but it was pretty nuts, and it was also like impossibly cheesy because they didn't really know how to do a big event like that. It was George Lucas working with Disney, and they knew that was a thing that they wanted, but they did this opening ceremony thing that had Mickey in a space gear, and they cut a ribbon with a lightsaber that sort of more exploded the ribbon and less oh God, they're not gonna let me see this. I really hate this. Man. They're like, you need to give us money or you can't have it. Here we go. I think I skirted it. So this was the opening ceremony back in the day when Disney was just kind of figuring this out. So there was a show. You can see a guy who's like sort of Luke Skywalker over in the left. Yeah. And he was supposed to be Luke.
Oh, no, you were right. It was 60 hours.
And Mickey and Minnie were dressed up in Tomorrowland costumes, and George, and I think that's Michael Eisner,
Yeah.
are zapping the ribbon. Let's get us out of the way. You see this like the big sparks and puff of smoke, and it was really kind of cheesy. But they had the gang, 3PO and R2, and everybody was kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
That was a big deal for Disney. It was a big deal for Star Wars fans. It was nuts. And of course, Captain Rex was a brand new character, and the destinations and stuff. And for those of us who really loved the Adventures Through Inner Space, we were sad that was gone, but we were excited to see this go in and to see what they kept from Adventures Through Inner Space. So the line you walk through Star Wars is exactly the Inner Space line. They didn't change that in Star Tours. They have the big screen on the wall, which they've replaced 3 or 4 times as technology gets better because it used to die all the time. They did this really incredible thing where they used LCD panels that when you put a charge through them, they went opaque, and then you could project against them, which was really cool. And unfortunately, those used to die pretty frequently. And so now the entire thing is a giant LED screen. The People Mover doesn't run through there anymore, but it used to. You used to be able to look down on the Star Speeder and hear the spiel from 3PO and R2 and go through the droid rooms on the other side. And it was really very magical. They had a really, really tremendous thing. And, they gave away tickets and digital watches, and there was all sorts of little swaggy things that you could do. It was really neat. And, to be able to go to something like that, and it's probably the first big Disney event thing I got to go to. We ditched school to go to it because we're like, oh my God, we have to be there.
School being college when it was a little easier to ditch.
Completely, and it was a blast. So,
yeah,
super fun stuff, and and of course they shut it down, and they reopened it as the adventure continues, and it's very different than it was when it first opened back in the day. And here's an even better picture of the overall stage. And I think it's really funny that Disney wasn't even like that that concerned with making their characters look that much like the characters. Like Luke and Leia, whatever, and Chewie and Han were whatever.
Yeah,
they were like the stunt doubles. It was pretty funny, but it was still pretty cool, and just smack in front of Tomorrowland. Where the Astro Orbiter is now. You can't do anything like this there anymore because they've got the Astro Orbiter, which is closed. I don't know if they're just refurbishing it or if they're doing anything interesting to it, but they've closed it. And this is the article that talks about it being 35 years old from back in 2022.
Yeah.
So kind of crazy. And we go on the ride a lot, and some of it's really cool. I rode the ride yesterday, and it was Hoth. And Hoth was, if you watch that Hoth adventure, the guy on the screen on the right who shows up is like, Star Tours, what are you doing here? Mm-hmm. That's one of our Rebel Legion Hazard Squadron pilots who, he brought his costume down for Mark Hamill to wear because he was one of the few guys in Southern California with a snowspeeder pilot costume, because who needs a snowspeeder pilot costume when it's 60 degrees outside? Mm-hmm. But Rob had one. He brought it down. Mark couldn't make it, and they said, well, the costume fits you. Do you want a screen test? He's like, yeah. And so they shot him, and they went, you look great. Let's do it. And so now he's immortalized in Star Tours. Yeah. Every time we go to Hoth, I get to see Rob. And that was the one that we got on Sunday, which was, yesterday, rather.
The Astro Orbiter is closed for refurbishment.
Yeah, I figure it's just, the usual kind of stuff. There's part of me that always hopes that they are going to move it back to where it used to be, up on top of the People Mover thing, and put the gantry back. It used to have an elevator that was really cool. But this is the new Star Tours, and it's pretty fancy schmancy now. And there's one in Paris, and there's one in Disneyland, Tokyo, and it's great stuff. Oh, come on.
Let's see where we were. Disney is suing a small-time car wash for plagiarizing Star Wars, as is their right. Although,
Yeah.
suing, or did they just give them a cease and desist?
Well, it was probably a cease and desist. It makes me a little sad because
Star Wars.
I love stuff like this. And,
Star Wash.
it's
is
not
what
like
it's called.
they're really hurting anybody
It's in Chile.
in the
Yeah.
in the great.
Heck.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like it's not a thing that's gonna make money hand over fist, but they are very much making money off of Star Wars. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
And let me give you a little peek at the
The
outside.
little video is funny.
It really is. So it's they got a little car tacked onto the logo there. They're not using the official Star Wars lettering, but it's kind of interesting. And of course they did like a little video with characters and stuff that is cool. And I love like where you go to vacuum your car and stuff. How
That's fun.
It's got like little hangers and things. It's like it's really neat.
They've got Leia washing the cars. Little Leia, like little child
Little
Leia.
child Leia.
Yeah.
I need to turn off the sound on this
Yes, please do.
so that we don't get busted. Oh, come on. Why did they change this stuff? Grr. Sometimes
Gotta like
there
people.
that I don't know what else to do. Can I make it bigger? I cannot make it bigger apparently. Really frustrates me sometimes, let me tell you.
Excuse me.
Let's see how much of this I can show you. I love this guy though, who really looks like Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
He's absolutely amazing, and his Instagram credit is down there too, and he's like the Chile Pedro Pascal or something, which is like really fun. He looks really great, but I've seen dentist office do this. I have seen hairdressers do this. I have seen all sorts of places sort of theme their thing out as Star Wars. And, I honestly think they should leave these guys alone. How much money are they going to make on a Star Wars theme beyond what they're just going to make as a car wash? Colleen and I go to a car wash where they have, like, NASA astronauts and dinosaurs and, like, all of this. They think they even have a Boba-Kit. When you drive through the car wash, they've got things in the car wash that you can look at. They have things outside of the car wash you can look at. There's like cows and deer and like whatever. They buy these fiberglass statuary and they put them all over the place just to try to make it really interesting and get you to come back. So, these guys did Star Wars. It's so low key. How much money do they really make?
I'm sure not very much.
It can't be much.
Yeah.
Can't be much at all. I think they should let him alone.
2 new High Republic adventure titles are coming from Dark Horse. So if you like your High Republic and you like your comic books, there you go.
Yep.
They're on their way.
That's not a thing I've jumped into yet.
Yeah, it's
Comic books or Old Republic?
It's
Old
like,
Republic.
Yeah.
High Republic.
Or High
sorry.
Republic, yeah.
Yeah.
What's
High
the difference
Republic
between
adventure
High
or-
Republic and Old Republic? Is High Republic the royalty?
More recent, really.
Oh. Interesting. Don says he's been the rebel spy twice. Sean was the rebel spy once, but that was when we were in Japan.
I had to go on every Star Tours on the planet to finally become the Rebel Spy.
But I've been on every Star Tours on the planet, and I've never been the rebel spy. So
That's a
don't give
bummer.
me that.
Yeah, I've been the rebel spy.
Yep.
I took a picture of you as the Rebel
Yes.
Spy.
I am the only non-spy in the room.
Oh, no. Whatever are we going to do?
Mando and the kid are getting ready to hit the big screen, and Ahsoka Season 2 is in the works. So I'm just hoping that they're really not calling the new movie, that the final title doesn't end up being The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, or The
No,
Mandalorian and Grogu, whatever.
Mando
No,
and
of
the
course,
kid.
of course it won't be. It'll be like
It's terrible.
Next up on Mando with the Kid.
it'll be the
Yeah, but that's a TV show.
It'll be the Mandalorian colon something something, or it will be something something a Mandalorian story.
A star.
Mando and the Kid is about this grumpy old guy that has a junkyard. And,
Burner. Burner.
no, not that one. I'm thinking Chico and the Man.
This is the names
Oh,
I
I
would give
see.
these shows. They're like Sam and Bucky show, Mando
Yeah.
and the Kid. Come on.
Right.
Grogu, don't you worry. But they can't get Jack Albertson to be
Unless they
the
resurrect him.
right. That'd be pretty funny.
David Benioff and DB Weiss talk about their shelved Star Wars movie.
Oh, one last thing about the Mando thing, though.
What's that?
I really feel the only reason that's going to become a movie instead of another series is so that they can monetize it.
Duh.
I feel like that's
Why?
really
Why is that
Disney.
even a question?
Well, it's not a question. It's just an observation
Yeah.
that they finally decided they weren't making enough money off of it, and this is the way to get to it.
Yeah, because if they do it this way, they can get the movie theater money and the streaming money, as opposed to just the streaming
Right.
money.
Right.
I think it's a better story on TV than it is.
Well, I think you can do
And it
much
goes
more
straight to
with more
streaming.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've got to make a really tight movie experience if they want this to be really good.
Yeah.
And
they haven't done that so far with the TV.
And they have to convince people that, it's worth paying money for something they've been getting for basically free for just their subscription thing. They're going to have to say this story is good enough for
Well,
you
there's
to
a base
cough
that they
up.
can get to go to anything if they slap a
$30.
Star Wars label on it.
Yeah, I don't know, but people right now are being really weird about it. There's so much hate flying around right now. And so, they announced this project, and immediately the Kathy Kennedy haters came out of the woodwork going, she's going to ruin The Mandalorian now.
But it doesn't keep them from making money hand over fist,
Yeah, I guess that's
no
true.
matter how many haters there are.
And I love that people forget the fact that she greenlit Mando in the first place, and she coughed up the money for that LCD screen technology, which has completely changed television now.
Yeah.
So whatever. D&D doing this Star Wars movie thing could be interesting. I mean, these were the guys behind Game of Thrones.
Were they the ones
Benioff
that
and Weiss. Yeah.
were
Yeah.
they the ones that got fired, or this was just shelved?
It was shelved.
Oh.
So they're still like, Kathy Kennedy's saying, well, we still want to work with them, but time, they got to find time to do, blah, 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 blah. But it was basically, they were like, we wanted to make the first Jedi and the first lightsaber. That's the movie we wanted to make, and how the Jedi Order came to be.
Yeah. And they were annoyed that Rian Johnson named his movie The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Because now they're going to be the first Jedi, and that's going to mess everything up. They're joking, though, of course. But
Yeah.
it's, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, I'm not entirely sure it's a story I need to see, but maybe it'll be good. I have no idea.
Moving on to theme parks, Tortilla Joe's in downtown Disney is closing permanently. It go bye-bye, which is too bad because it's one of the few places where I feel like it's easy to get in with a group.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true. But the food was just kind of meh.
True.
In my experience.
Yeah.
So,
But you're not a fan of, I mean, it was about the level of an Acapulco.
Yeah, which I actually kind of like Acapulco. I liked this less
You
than
do?
Acapulco. Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
I think Acapulco's just fine.
All right. We have a Lunar New Year food guide from
okay.
DCA.
Lunar New Year isn't until like February 10th, I think. But
Well, they are
they're getting an
celebrating
early
it
step.
January 23rd through February 18th. And there's the usual bunch of food and beverages and light up ice cubes and straw toppers and popcorn buckets and things like that.
But is there anything that like really stands out?
No.
Oh, okay. Because
I mean, there's some bow that I would try. There are things that I would try, but there's nothing that that I'm like, ooh.
Mickey-shaped hot dog bun.
And they had that last year, and we talked about it last year, and we looked
Right.
at pictures of it last year.
Yeah, they have the usual weird kind of drinks. What are their?
Dessert and
They
drinks.
don't say what their characters are this year.
How?
Last year,
Well, it's the year of the dragon, right?
right. So I
So
mean,
it's-
it's got to
yeah,
be
it's
Mushu,
Mushu.
right?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's got a stainless steel tumbler.
It might
Oh,
also
I see.
be
Shocking.
the other one, the newer film that came out. God, what is it called? Something.
Raya and the Last
Yeah,
Dragon.
yeah, could be that. Could be
Well,
the
they
dragon
could
from
they
that.
could merge the two because they had two characters last time on their button. They had a cat and they had Oswald.
Yeah,
So they could do two.
yeah.
Two this time
They
around.
could be Sisu and Mushu.
Let's see. Colleen mentioned a stainless steel tumbler, which
Yeah.
of course seemed to be like all the rage and stuff. I'm gonna sidetrack here a minute because like have you guys been following the craziness about the Stanley Tool Company tumbler? Stanley's been around for like a really long time. They've made tools, they've made thermoses, all sorts of things like that.
Yeah.
And now the big thing is a 40-ounce tumbler that's called the Quencher. Now it's not a small thing to start with, and so I didn't realize when all this was going on, somebody had gifted me one, and so this is like a 40-ounce cup. This is it next to my head. It is the size of my head. This one is really cool. Somebody has engraved it with all these neato Star Warsy things all over it. It's been laser etched, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I put the coffee bottle I usually drink in here. I poured it in here to give this a try, and it filled halfway. The big bottle that I drink every show only filled this halfway.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane.
I think people are going crazy about Stanley Tumbler because the one that survived the car fire.
I hadn't heard that.
No, okay. Well, there's a woman who she has a regular copper looking, I guess, Stanley Tumbler, and her car like caught fire or whatever, and the only thing that survived was this freaking Stanley Tumbler. So they helped her out with getting a new car.
Wow.
Like, for that reason.
Well,
it's like
in-
free advertising basically.
In this case, they're stainless steel, so they are fairly indestructible.
Yeah, free
I'm
cup, yeah.
I'm sure the plastic lid and stuff melted.
Yeah.
But so they sell for $50 at Target,
Yeah.
and then they resale on eBay and stuff for $300. And so
Yeah.
everybody who does a workout video on TikTok is lugging one of these things.
Yeah.
So that's made them really huge. They came out with a pink version, which
Yeah.
means it's very female centric, and everybody's like really going to do it. And Colleen sent me an article that was fascinating that basically said because people are now buying so many of these and reselling them and buying them to collect them. And I've seen videos of women who are like, I have a problem. And then they show their shelf of like 20 of these. They're saying that using a reusable cup like this has no good environmental impact because everybody is buying more cups than they need. So it's not like one person, one cup, stop using paper ones.
Yeah.
It's like I have 20 of these. But they're starting to make them out of recycled materials and stuff, including the packaging and that kind of thing, trying to make it as energy efficient as possible and whatnot. But and it's not as bad as plastic bottles, but it's just weird. The whole thing is so bizarre to me. And I've seen people clamor over Starbucks cups and things like that. But the thing they did do is that they've showed that ecologically friendly products can hit that wild popularity thing. And honestly, I'm kind of much better with people showing off their Stanley Cups than what my feed is typically filled with, which is like just boob bounce videos. And I'm like, show your collections, show your stuff, do that kind of stuff.
There's that weird hockey team that always shows off their Stanley Cup.
Well, that's
when I first saw the article, that's what I thought it was about.
that's
and then I
Cup.
remembered. I was like, oh, Sean told me this thing about these cups that are really popular. So then I opened it, and then they started talking about how the Stanley
bigger and
thermos.
fancier,
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have one of those that I used to take on picnics because it looks like it's from the 1950s.
Yeah.
Well, so the Stanley Cup trophy, which is a great example of an ecologically friendly cup, because how long have they been passing it along? How many years? From team to team to team?
Idea.
So you have to win it, and each hockey team member gets to spend 24 hours with the cup and do whatever they want.
Ugh.
I've seen people floating it in their pool, doing stuff like that. And it holds 209 fluid ounces. So this Stanley Cup holds 40. The real Stanley Cup trophy holds 209.
Yeah.
Now that's a party cup.
Yeah, geez.
That's pretty amazing. So, but I don't know. The Stanley Cup was first awarded in 1893.
Oh, there you go.
So that is a reusable cup.
Could you imagine? They should have a movie about that. Somebody stealing the Stanley Cup.
Like the same one.
Okay, I know someone who wrote a script about that.
Oh, really?
I did a table reading for a friend who really wanted to make this movie about someone who it was a crime involving the Stanley Cup, and it was fun. It was a neat little caper movie, and we read it in what used to be a bank vault in some building in downtown LA. And he just called me up. He's like, "Hey, come be part of this." I'm like, "Yeah." And it was really fun. He never got to make his movie, sadly. I don't even know what he's thinking about, if he's going to be able to. But it was a fun, neat little goofy thing, and he just wanted to check it out and do something different.
So yeah, Lisa, that was probably in 2007 when the Ducks actually won it.
What was that?
So she says that the cup was in downtown Disney a little while back.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that was back when the Ducks won the one time.
Does Disney still own the Ducks? Because you would think Disney would have owned the Ducks.
I don't think they do.
Point.
I believe that got sold off a while ago.
Right, that's what I think.
Yeah. So.
Shall we move on?
Yeah. The downtown Disney district. Actually, it was just.
Yes means no.
It was just there last year.
Oh, okay. Wow.
In April.
Weird.
Not for long.
Yeah, I guess not.
And the second thing, by the way, so here was the thing. It says, take a photo with the world famous Stanley Cup in downtown Disney.
Oh.
And this was April of 2023. We were in Disney, Tokyo. Sorry, we missed that.
See, there you go.
And then the next thing is, are Stanley Cups allowed in Disneyland?
And what's the answer?
The trophy.
You are welcome to bring your Stanley Cup into the parks when you visit the Disneyland Resort.
Well, okay. Can I bring my big green Stanley thermos?
Yeah, I think you can. I think they're all right.
I'd have to bring a wagon to cart it around it. I mean, it has a handle, but it's big.
Well, it has clips for a shoulder strap, right? You'd have to put a shoulder strap on it.
I have no idea.
But yeah, I think they may ask you to open it up to prove it doesn't contain alcohol.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But as long as it's double-walled metal and not double-walled glass and metal, you're good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't like glass in the park.
Weirdly.
Even though you can buy lots of it.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to bring it in.
No bring. Okay.
Right.
There is a new private Star Wars photo shoot coming to Walt Disney World in Florida. Basically, you can pay some extra money and get a Disney photographer to work with you on a photo shoot.
Okay.
Which is something that they did at the Galactic Star Cruiser, where you could buy a photo package. They would take you to all the good locations and take really quality pictures of you.
Says the image specialists equipped with enhanced holoscanning droids will travel with you around Batuu, processing scans in front of the Millennium Falcon or a First Order shuttle at the Market and Blackspire outpost among the beautiful landscape of lush forests and majestic mountains, or as you explore other beloved spots on the planet. The choice is yours.
And what do they charge for this, do they say?
$99.
Yeah, see, so it's
It
kind
can
of
include up to 8 guests.
wow.
Photos are not included with the price of a session,
Yeah.
but if you have a photo pass, then you can download the photos taken during that session at no extra cost.
Now, and that's in Florida. That's in
Florida.
Batuu East,
It's like
as we
kidnapping
call it.
Randy Garcia if he still worked there.
Well, kind of, right? So I actually did that. Our last trip where we were taking PhotoPass stuff, I grabbed the photo guy and I'm like, "Can you take some special pictures of me?" And we did this in Batuu West. We did it in California. So I got pictures with my trash cans.
Oh, see, there you go.
And which was like really cool. So he's like, why are we? So I had to explain it first, and then he gave in and he took some nice
But you
pictures.
can't really
of me.
see the
Yeah.
Yeah,
phone
well
number on
that's
there.
why I got a
Zoom in
close
a
up,
lot,
and I
yeah.
can fix that. It's the photos need to be processed because they haven't yet. These are the ones from our other trip, but he did a few of these which were pretty good.
Cool.
Oh, the $99 is good for 20 minutes.
Wow, geez.
20 minutes.
Yep.
Only 20.
Additional time must be booked in advance.
Well,
Dang.
and that is very much like what they were doing on the Galactic Star Cruiser. So it's nice that
man.
maybe those guys are getting more work.
If you if you're late to your session, they won't extend it beyond the end time that you
That
booked.
blows. Hey, Eric. how's
Don't
it
be
going?
late.
I would like to register a little bit of disappointment in that I seem to be covered with ants.
Oh
man.
no.
Oh, dear.
We have Orkin who comes out here to spray for ants. They just recently came, but I keep finding and killing ants on me
Oh, man.
Today, just today?
right now.
Oh,
This minute.
this is bad.
Yeah, it is not cool.
Yeah.
I keep finding them on me, and I keep smashing them. This is not cool. They're not going for my coffee.
Weird.
It's weird.
Right. So Eric just got back from an event, I think, at Loyola.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
'cause he posted it on
Was
his
it
Facebook
fun?
page. We'll have to wait and see what he says.
Speaking of people that we know, I kind of want to give a shout out. I meant to do this at the top of the hour. That our friend Tony Benown, who listens to the show, is kind of under the weather. He's feeling
We're
poorly.
thinking good thoughts for you, Tony.
Yeah, so I meant to do it at the top of the hour and stuff. I completely forgot, but he's always tuning into the show and stuff, and I feel bad that he is feeling bad.
I'm not sure he's up to tuning in right now.
Yeah,
but-
I
but if
imagine
he is,
so. But
we
we're
are
just
thinking
putting it
about him.
out there into the galaxy.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Sean, you want to? This is not a good segue.
It's not.
Let's talk about something else for a minute.
Yeah, you got it. Sorry.
Let's talk about the Golden Globes.
That's cool. Golden Globes fashion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let
that's what
me
Eric did. Okay,
let me
so-
load up
Cool, Eric.
the Daily Variety picture gallery.
I was surprised at how many of the actresses, I shouldn't have been surprised at this, how many of the people on the red carpet were doing Barbie hands. And you could
Nice.
tell they were doing Barbie hands because of the way they were holding their arms, or even if they were holding their hands down at their side, they had this sort of all four fingers together and the thumb out separate.
Well,
Gotcha.
really, there's only one person who should be pulling off Barbie hands.
No, because the other people that were in Barbie movie were doing it too.
Hmm.
But Margot Robbie
Robbie.
is wearing a Barbie dress.
Yeah, and
So-
she's specifically replicating a particular Barbie dress
Yeah,
from
it is,
history.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I had it open.
I mean,
document that
it says
said
Giorgio
which one it
Armani,
was.
but I don't know who the actual what it is called.
It's a specific like 1980 Barbie dress. Golden Globes. Margot. Barbie.
It was the Superstar Barbie
There it
from
is.
1977.
Thank you, Sean.
A little before my time at Mattel, but not too shabby.
Yeah. So I like that dress. I thought it was fun.
It looks good. It's suitably toy-like. I mean, she is Barbie. It makes perfect
And
sense.
that's Barbie pink, all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, I mean, honestly, Margot Robbie looks good in just about anything you can
Yeah,
put her
that's
in.
true.
And that's even the joke they made in the movie, which was like, when trying to make an example of someone who is not attractive, maybe Margot Robbie is not the person to use as your example, which was pretty great. Oh, and then of course directly followed by Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Well, and she's just a cutie, so she looks young and
It's really hard to.
quirky.
It's really hard for her to choose something bad to wear too.
Right. Yeah.
We keep going. Oh, Taylor Swift is young, and she is, relatively speaking, but she's 33 now,
Oh.
Wow.
and her whole career has, I think, only been about 15 years, and she started as a kid singing country western, and now she's 33 and this massive pop star, and it's nuts. And
Lisa says that Margot Robbie has a different doll dress for every award show and premiere event. Which is
awesome. Well, I can't wait to
super
see what
fun.
she wears for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Who's this? This is very burlesque.
It is. I don't.
Mae West, man. This is like a Mae West dress.
It is, but I don't prefer the dresses that, like, you can see where the dress ends just below her fingertips.
Right.
And
You can see
the
her
underdress.
You can see the lining. Yeah.
yeah, I would prefer the lining to match the length of the overdress, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that too. Who is this? It's Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso.
Yeah. And I just want to break in here and say that Eric did respond that he went to a live chat with Henry Louis Gates Jr., from the host from Finding Your Roots,
Yeah.
and LeVar Burton. And LeVar will be on Finding Your Roots next week, which is well worth watching on PBS.
Did he sing the Reading Rainbow theme?
He didn't say that.
Butterfly
But
in the sky.
but Eric said they were two of the most impressive men and a great talk. So that was
Cool.
good.
Cool.
And then going back to this, so this Barry Keoghan
Barry Keoghan.
from Saltburn, I really like this outfit that he's wearing.
So this guy, he's not really happy with his look. He always thinks he looks really weird, and he always gets weird looking dude parts, and he's become this crazy sex symbol now, and which he's eating up. He's like, I cannot even believe it. And from this movie, from Saltburn. Now,
Yeah.
he's also one of the guys. There's a bunch of British and UK actors I've seen lately who apparently managed to contract flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh my God!
And so it was this guy, and who's the actress that I saw
Rosamund Pike.
recently? No, I don't think so. It was someone younger than that. And she lost most of her arm, and they had to reconstruct it.
no.
All of this kind of stuff. It was really crazy. And but they've come back stronger for having survived this and stuff. And apparently he's one of them. But I think he looks amazing. And in terms of being a weird looking dude, who said that?
I don't know.
He's a good looking guy.
Yeah, he's very attractive. But also interesting that this outfit, the pants are different than the jacket, and yet they reflect each other. In
Yes.
that they both have this check design in red and black.
Yeah.
And
There's a
they
slight
look great together.
color variance. No, I totally dig this, and I love
Yeah.
textured coats. One of my tuxedos has a really great texture to it, and it's nice to break that up as opposed to just having a really basic kind of coat.
Yeah.
And this is a really good color. He even like matches the background. This is like super art orchestrated. It looks really terrific, and he's just crazy stylish.
And it's interesting that he doesn't look like he's effeminate in this picture at all.
Right.
He's wearing 2 strands of pearls. He has a strand of pearls around his neck and a strand of pearls at his
his right
watch
hip.
fob.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got it draped from front to back. That's true. I actually like what he's wearing around his neck in lieu of a tie.
Yes.
It really works out. I've done something similar to. I think I did it on the
He's
Queen.
got a matching earring.
I think I did it on the Queen Mary too when we were trying to break up our looks because we had so many formal nights. I took a money clip coin that someone had given me of like a Liberty dollar, and I put a string around my neck and I wore that, and it actually worked really well. I really kind of dug it, and this is a really cool thing to do. It's almost too subtle, but it looks great.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
No, it's really cool.
Selena Gomez is one of the people who's doing the Barbie hands.
You're right.
Yeah.
She is. It's
Those are
weird.
Barbie hands. Yeah. I have mixed feelings about her dress. I both love and hate it.
Well, look, you cannot fault her for still wearing this dress after being caught in a lightsaber fight. I mean, it's not her fault. Sometimes you gotta, fight off a Jedi, and it's
She looks fabulous, regardless of whether her dress is the style that I
whether
would
the
choose.
cut at the bottom of the dress is a
Yeah.
little nuts.
Her hemline is asymmetric, and I'm not a fan of
I am
asymmetry.
also not a fan.
So, but the bodice on this is fabulous, and she is just fabulous.
She's a doll, and
love her.
and actually, I like her. She's like, and especially with the last season of Murders in the Building, she put on a little weight, and we were like, "Is she pregnant? What's going on? Whatever?" Because the clothes she was wearing made her look pregnant. She just put on a little bit of weight, and I think she looks so good.
Yeah.
She looks amazing because for a while she was like a little too thin. And like right here, this is amazing. She looks terrific.
And it's funny because I don't tend to like a lot of the dresses that show any part of the midriff at all.
Yeah.
And this, I do. I love this.
Yeah,
think
it's
this is
well
great.
because it shows just a little. It's
Yeah.
a tease.
There's another one that shows just a little that I'm like, oh, it just looks like you're untucked. Yeah.
And like the way we're looking at the dress right now, where we can't see the hem, that's perfect. And then when we see the hem, I'm like, ugh.
Ooh. The Lady A 1066 just made it
something.
home through the snow.
Holy
Yikes.
crud!
Yeah.
And I like this dress too.
Quinta Brunson.
Yeah, I just like the this one is symmetrical, and I like that about it.
Yeah. And is that like a semi-transparent ribbon running through there? She's got like a.
I
Maybe?
think that it's just like a flesh color, but I suppose it could be
I
transparent.
can't tell
It's
if you
hard
can
to
see through it or if it's because it doesn't look like it's on top. It looks like it's joining the panels of fabric together. It's kind of an interesting thing, but it's not.
No,
like
I
it's
don't think it's
revealing
translucent.
anything.
I am big in the picture.
Yeah. Okay.
And although when you do that, the texture of her dress is fabulous.
Let me see
You
if
make
I
it
can.
larger.
Hello. Now it's like run me down. There's bigger. Oh, that is pretty neat.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Kaylee Spaney just looks darling. She's again got this sort of see-through corset look,
Yeah.
but not showing any skin.
The showing the like superstructure is
It's a big thing
a
this
big
year.
thing this year apparently. And what do we know her from? What is she?
She was in Priscilla,
Okay.
according to this. I don't know who she is, so
I don't either.
she's just very sweet looking. And then now we have the most talked about dress. The next one is the most talked about dress at the ceremony, I believe.
Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, so
Yep.
she's wearing a dress that has an embroidery design on it.
From the skirt down, I'm going to try and zoom in on this. What it really
Yeah, I
needs.
can only zoom in once, so I can't really see it.
I can zoom in.
There are three
but
things about this dress. One of them is the embroidery, which Sean will try to zoom in to show you.
Apparently, that's as zoomy as I get.
The other one is if you look at the bottom of this dress, it is not hemmed.
That's the thing that's really wigging me out. Is it's got a rough hem at the bottom.
Yeah, and
that
somebody
must
tried to convince
be
me that this was
intentional.
wear, but it is not wear. That is what it looks like when you cut fabric
Oh yeah.
and it's a raw
Nice.
edge is
Yeah,
hanging
totally
out.
is.
That is not wear.
Yeah, it's really nuts. And if you can't quite see the pattern, we will point out that it is very Georgia O'Keeffe in its representation
Oh well,
of
that makes a lot of sense actually.
feminine body parts.
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense. Like
Or, you could call them cabbage leaves. It's your choice. But for Gillian Anderson, who has never been particularly quiet about her sexuality or anything, it's completely appropriate.
And it looks really good on her, except the stupid hem. The
Right.
only thing, well, okay, I also don't like her purse. And she's clearly got a pocket in that dress, so why does she even need a purse? Because the dress is big enough
we
that
go.
you could have like a voluminous pocket.
Sorry,
that
I'm
would never
jumping
show.
around on you. I'm trying to zoom in and out so you can see these things. So she looks pretty tremendous, I think. The bodice is great. The strapless look is good and works on her.
And her jewelry is great, and even her hair.
It is age appropriate,
Yeah.
which is great because nothing bugs me more than really glamorous women who
Jesus.
dress a bit
Ouch.
too young for what she's doing. I think she looks great. And the pattern is so subtle that it took people quite a while to realize what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
When it did, of course, it went crazy on the internet. But I think she looks tremendous. And I also like that you don't see the superstructure of the dress. It's
Yes.
just this nice, smooth, whatever. This is like pure Hollywood glamour. It's
Yeah.
absolutely
well,
amazing.
except the stupid bottom of the dress.
Right. Which
I
Maybe
don't
the-
understand it.
Maybe the dress was too long and she had to snip
right,
it
she
before
hacked it off.
No,
and
it is clearly a style choice,
Okay.
but I don't get it. I would love to have somebody explain it to me.
Right. I like the idea of her hacking it off in the limo, though.
Yeah.
too long.
Oh God, I walked through some mud.
I'm not
what
a
am I
fan
gonna do?
of what Bella Ramsey is wearing.
No.
It's- It is, fitting for her, and yet she's not really dressed up. She doesn't look dressy.
It looks
Although
like-
a man would wear this and people would say it's fine. So
No, I
maybe I'm
wouldn't
just
like it on a
being
man either.
Snippy.
And I'm just gonna say that she's just bounding the Golden Globes. This is like a bounding costume to me.
Yeah.
There's no detail on it, and that
Little
makes me
strappy things on
sad.
the
It's
shoulders.
like there's the tiny little epaulette things that she's
Yeah.
got going on, and but there's no buttons. There's nothing fancy on it. It's very
Maybe she's saving it for another award ceremony.
maybe it's very streamlined. I just like more detail, and we just saw a super simple dress on Gillian Anderson, but this is just so.
Maybe it's like an old 70s casual Barbie outfit.
Well, it's just
I don't know.
it's just not exciting for an award ceremony. Rosamund Pike looks great. Her hat is unique. And apparently, rumor has it that she was recently in a car accident
Oh,
or some
ouch.
other accident that she had damage to her face.
Oh my gosh, really?
And not permanent damage, but just, like she has some road rash or something on her face.
Yeah.
This is what I heard from someone else. I didn't, I don't know her. But she was apparently, the veil was to kind of help cover that up a little bit.
It looks
Which is
like
probably rude for people to bring up,
Excuse
that
me.
that's why she's
Yeah.
doing it then.
it looks
I
like
think about
an
it.
evil apple, though,
It does.
which is really kind of strange. Oh, she had a skiing accident.
Skiing accident.
4 days ago,
Well,
Pike
Yeah.
said the accident left her face entirely smashed up. So she thought to herself,
Sorry, I'm laughing about something else.
I need to do something. Yeah, well, don't laugh at her accident.
Yeah.
That's what Phil said in Facebook about Bella's outfit.
A rebel officer without
Dr.
the outer
Evil.
vest. Oh, Dr. Evil. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
the rest of the dress is fine, and
Yeah.
hope that she heals up quickly from her skiing accident. And
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
And I think that
Yeah.
I think it's just fine.
It reminds
And
me of it reminds me of an old-fashioned dress. I can't think of what it was.
oh, it looks 1950s.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
completely. And what you can't really see as much is that her face, like there's the surround around her face, and then there's a full veil over her face.
Yeah, the
Gotcha.
veil.
It's really hard to
The
see in
veil
this
around
picture.
her face is
Okay.
what she was
Yeah.
doing.
Gotcha.
So the next dress worn by Fantasia Barrino, seriously looks like she has 3 different dresses on.
Could be.
The top is a very elegant velvet corset, long black gloves, upper length gloves, and then she's wearing like a white sequined dress at her hips. And then she decided that wasn't enough, so she went and got some tulle in lavender and sewed that to the bottom.
The tulle, the lavender thing, honestly looks like a piece that got added at the last minute because her skirt was too short.
Oh yeah, you can see that the skirt is like T length,
And
the
that-
white skirt.
Right, and that she didn't like it. Or conversely, it is designed to be removed for sitting, for dancing, for some other reason.
I feel like in this image at least, I feel like it didn't come across well, that it doesn't the 3 different elements are too different.
Yeah.
For my taste.
I almost feel like had she tucked this lavender skirt up under the black corset, or
I feel like if she had either
to the
gone with the
waist.
white or the lavender,
Yeah.
it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But the 3 different elements make it a little bit too much.
but it does make me wonder if it wasn't some sort of, last minute kind of cover up or whatever. Because honestly, if you get rid of that, she's amazing.
yeah.
Lose
If
the
you-
lavender. She looks
Yeah, if
tremendous.
you just lose the lavender, she is amazing. She looks fantastic. And I always want to say, getting out there on the red carpet is super brave. I'm
Yeah.
Oh,
not a fan of
And-
walking a red
and
carpet.
It's nothing we have to do.
Yeah, so
And to have people like us sit there and critique your clothes.
right. So hopefully none of them are listening to us, because I would feel really bad if
Yeah.
I made somebody feel bad because I said something mean.
Right.
So that being said, I'm not a fan of Greta Gerwig's dress
Yeah,
either.
it's kind of
The top is
Like a sack.
shapeless.
Yeah,
And-
it looks pinned together, and
Yeah.
it just
The bottom of it
We
could
like
be put
Greta
on
Gerwig, but this is just weird.
Fantasia's dress. We could combine these 2 dresses and come up with a really great single dress.
And what is this? Just satin?
It looks like
Kinda.
it.
It's
it looks like it.
Yeah.
yeah.
looks
I
satiny.
feel like it needs some sort of detail or something. So
Yeah. I don't really like this Elizabeth Debicki. I don't really like this dress either. Just
Wow.
because she looks so washed out, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that the background, which is pale off-white,
Yeah.
is not helping.
the pale on pale on pale
Yeah.
kind of look is really tough. I like this sort of mermaid scale look. That's
She
kind of interesting.
does kind of look like she would come out of a pond and hand you a sword.
Completely right.
Yeah.
Right. But
Okay.
it's got kind of like an armor look, and that's kind of neat. But yeah, I feel like there needs to be more color. Like if you look at the background, you can see that there are pink roses in there. If this dress had been toned more towards that to kind of give her more color, I think
Yeah,
it would have
she's
worked
so
a lot
pale
better.
that it feels like she needs more color.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, maybe she went with a really pale dress to make her skin look more colorful. I don't think it worked as well as it should. And admittedly, these are photo lights, and a bunch of people are taking pictures, and everything gets kind of blasted out. But
And yeah, still looks way better than I would.
yeah.
So
the hem is really interesting, and is in that it looks like a
it's
square.
that is interesting.
Isn't that crazy? It's just
Yeah.
like wham. And you don't often see that, and that's kind of cool.
I love looking at these photos with other people, because other people always bring up details that I miss, and I bring up details that other people miss. So it's kind of fun. Jeff's like, maybe
Reminds me of Red Sonja, but way more clothing.
Way more
the
clothing.
dress, you mean, with because it looks like armor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Red Sonja's armor, I think, has more detail to it than the dress does.
Ariana Greenblatt is kind of doing the Barbie hand thing, maybe, not sure. And you can't really see her whole outfit. They've cut it off just
Yeah, not really.
below her waist.
She went really masculine, which isn't too bad. She's got a tuxedo shirt and a cummerbund and things like that.
Yeah.
Although the cummerbund's upside down.
Oh dear.
Just point that out.
And also her shirt is open down to just above her navel.
Yeah.
Low cut.
Which, is kind of okay. In this
Just
case,
rings on.
in this case with the open shirt, if she hadn't opened the shirt, because it's a tuxedo shirt, it would give her this big mono boob scoop.
That's true.
Because she's got the ribbing on the tuxedo shirt. It's a thing that women who wear male tuxedo shirts really have to be careful of. But I think
Sounds like a
because
dance game.
she's not doing like giant cleavage under boob stuff with the open to her waist, it kind of works.
yeah.
Do the mono boob scoop.
Cillian
There's a
Murphy
dance.
looks nice. Nothing
Who does?
fancy. Cillian Murphy is a nice
Oh, yeah,
person.
he looks fine.
Next person. Sandra Hüller. She has an umlaut
don't know.
in her U.
Hewler?
Looks nice. And Joe Coy, lots of drama about him. Let's
Yeah.
just scoot right on by because
He was the host that,
Yeah.
he's really stirred some people up. And some people liked him, some people hated him. And some people are automatically defending him because he's Filipino, which has been really interesting. My Facebook feed has been full of this guy.
Tyler James Williams, I like his outfit. I think I would have liked it in a different color.
Yes.
It's better than black, but I think I would like a different color.
I'd
that
like to
wasn't
see
the pale.
I'd like to see a darker.
Yeah.
If the colors in it were inverted.
I think it would work better with a different background.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe
I
if he
think the
wasn't
background's
standing
washing
against
it
the
out too
pale
much.
background.
But I think if the stripes were the main color and the tan was the accent stripe color, I think that would have worked better for me. Especially with the dark tie.
I like the chain he has across his tie.
I like
and
his
the
little
flower.
bath puff flower thing. That's kind of
Yeah,
fun.
and also how he's got they're flared at the bottom.
And he has Ken hands.
He does have pen.
Kid hats.
And then I know other people didn't like this one as much, but I really like this next dress, the Divine Joy Randolph, who it says here that she was in the holdovers, but I believe she was also the police officer in
Okay.
Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, could be, yeah.
And I like she's got scallop shells for the bra of her outfit. So she's doing kind of a mermaid look, and I'm not as fond of the skirt on it. I think it would have looked better in a different material.
Yeah.
But I really like the mermaid breast cups.
Yeah.
Mermaid bikini top.
I think it's working
thing.
for her. Yes, on Only Murders in the Building.
Okay.
She was in the holdovers. She was in People of Earth and the Lost City and Dolomite Is My Name, and she's done a lot of stuff, which is pretty cool.
Julia Garner is the next person, and her overalls on her dress are a little bit too,
Oh, you scrolled it. Okay.
like she's keeping the top stick manufacturers in business. So I would prefer to see a larger bodice. She's beautiful, aesthetically very pleasing, but I like to see a little more fabric. What I love about her is her haircut.
Yeah.
Her hair is so cute and looks so 20s that I would love to see her in a little cloche or something like that.
It's like 1920s rolled out of bed, though. It is like so casual.
Yeah,
that
that's
it's kind of
true.
nice to see at an awards show where Or it hasn't been.
Most of the people who have casual hair, I object to, though. I really like when somebody. If we have time to get down to any further, I'll show you some of the ones that I feel
Well,
like.
We
I'll
are
tell you what.
currently women it out.
Yeah, let me jump in, and I will remind you guys that you were listening to sci-fi.radio. This is sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. You were watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch. The show is Docking Bay 94. I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby,
Jeff Soledano.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
and yeah, we're going a little over. So
Are we okay to go over?
I'm okay.
Do you need to roll off
it's
the
up-
radio?
Up to Jeff.
I'm just tired.
No, there's nobody after us.
Okay.
So that's not a problem.
Jeff,
And
do you
it's-
want us to take a break and you'll sign out? Or do you want to...
Yeah. Do you need to take off?
I mean, why don't you just take off and drive home?
Yeah, I can do it.
It's not weird.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Yeah.
I just want to continue talking about clothes.
Oh, boy.
All right, everybody, say goodbye to Jeff.
My God,
Goodbye,
kids.
Jeff.
Good night, folks.
And Jeff will probably take a minute to...
Yeah, and I
up.
gave you your Indiana Jones shirt. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. No worries. Yeah, poor Jeff has been trying to get this shirt for like the better part of a year. Finally, and then we got it for him last week, and they didn't take the security tag off of it.
Yeah, it was
And
fun.
then Jeff got his own Disney pass, so
You're right.
he'd be able to get it himself.
No,
Yeah,
geez.
but we have a better discount than he does,
That's for sure.
Yeah.
so we got that going for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see if I can find anything.
Coleman Domingo is the next person, and I like this. It's nice.
There's all of Coleman Domingo. And I like his sort of pseudo metal kind of deal.
Yeah, although I can't tell if his jacket is asymmetrical or that's just the angle we're looking at. I think his collar is just popped.
Yeah, it.
Because you can see a button there.
There's
that's
something about the
undone.
button that's really kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It looks like it's weighted down by the button, and maybe that's just the problem. So,
Maybe.
but yeah, he does look pretty good.
Not a fan of Celine Song's outfit.
No. Although she's ready to kill you with a knitting needle.
She is going. Yeah, she's gonna
That's
take you out there.
Kind of nuts. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. More ants. Where are you coming from, you jerks? Yeah, I mean it does look like a knitting needle, and it does look like it's holding her pants up.
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice, but I would be catching my arm on that
I actually wonder if it's
all
not
night long.
like something that reflects back on something else. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like is this a, you know, in her heritage, this is how something was held together, but it's emphasized and made bigger. sort
Right.
of a
Well,
thing?
and I mean, obviously, it means something to her.
Yeah.
The question is what?
And then we've got Helen Mirren, who is always fabulous. I don't. Her dress is okay. I'm not in love with it.
No. It is what it is. At least it's colorful.
It is colorful. I just people are asking how Celine Song got past security.
Right. I saw that. That was
With the
Eric.
weapon.
I saw that.
Yeah.
But it's,
And then Elizabeth Banks, I like her dress. I hate her hair. Her earrings are nice. Not a fan of her shoes.
yeah, Elizabeth Banks has been hit or miss for me on red carpet stuff.
It doesn't even look like she's wearing shoes. It looks like she's got bare feet. And
Maybe
her
she
hair
does.
looks like she just got out of the shower.
There's a leaf next to her. I don't know what her.
No, that's a star. That's where everybody is told to stop because everybody has
really?
had that star right
Oh,
next to their
It looks
foot.
like a leaf.
Nope, it's a star.
I haven't been looking at people's feet.
Yeah. And then I love the color of the next dress. J. Smith Cameron has this blue dress. And I love the sleeves,
The shawl is kind of interesting. Yeah, the shawl sleeve thing
But-
that she's got going on.
the overall dress, I'm not in love with the fit of it, and I'm not sure why.
No.
I don't really like the turtleneck look. So maybe that's part of it.
I think
I'm not
it's
sure, but
okay.
it goes well with the sleeves. So
I like the dress, but it doesn't read glamorous to me. And it's the Golden Globes, and so you're like kind of. Although, admittedly, it's not the Oscars, so you know
right,
you can.
it's true.
You can kinda
Golden
do whatever.
Globes is Oscars casual, and it's certainly not the Met Gala.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know.
The next dress, Lisa Ann Walter has got. I like this dress. Someone on one of the groups that I was looking at dresses with said that they didn't like her train and that they think it would be a great dress without the train. I kind of think that it's a nice balance and it's fun. Like, I like a train.
I'm trying to remember. I've seen her in stuff.
Abbott Elementary? Oh, you haven't seen Abbott
I
Elementary?
haven't seen Abbott Elementary. Oh, she was in Glow, and she was in Bruce Almighty. Yeah, she's done stuff. She did at least one 911 episode. So, and something called Psycho Stripper. But here, let's get a full. There's the full dress, and I think it's good. It's suitably glamorous, and she hasn't gone.
Lori said it makes her think of armor, and I agree. It does.
It does, but
has
not
that sort of
as
armor.
much as that other dress we saw earlier that looked like
Right.
scale armor.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that's those are a lot of beads. I think if they're not beads, then they're metallic things that are
Yeah, I don't
embedded
know.
into the fabric. It's really hard to tell. I'm zoomed way in. They do look like beads to me.
Yeah, they do.
So
The next dress, she also looks like she stepped out of a pond. That
With a-
doesn't sound
with a
right.
sword?
A pond. I mean, she looks like a water nymph or something.
she does. She totally does.
And so, and then we've got Elle Fanning. Oh no, now it's back.
Elle
That was
Fanning.
weird. Elle Fanning is the one after the one
that's
you've
kinda
got
nice.
right now.
Yeah.
I think it's too pale, and her bow I saw in another image from another angle, and I don't like the way it's sort of sagging.
Maybe that's just the thing that we don't know about, which is if you were particularly pale, you go with an even paler dress. I mean,
Maybe.
like, is that a rule?
Maybe it is. I don't know.
I mean, it's like if you're tall, you go taller with heels or something.
Yeah. Maybe you only do that when you're super young, though. I don't know.
Maybe. It doesn't seem to be a thing. And here's a Reddit thread that's like, what should you wear? What should you avoid if you're super pale? And they're like yellows and pinks and oranges.
Well, again, she's standing against a background that is almost the same color as both her dress and her skin.
Right.
So,
And this is a different background than the one
yeah,
we've
it
been
is.
seeing for other people.
yeah. But the bow drooping, I can't really tell because you don't see it as much in this image as the other one I was looking at. But I can't tell whether that was a style choice or whether it just like hung like that. It's probably a style choice looking at it now from this side. Natasha Lyonne is in the next image, and it looks like her dress is made out of piñata fabric.
It does. It looks like it's that tissue paper fluff, and that it was like a cylinder that they just cut the top out of so she could get into it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if somebody goes in for a kiss, she's putting someone's eye out.
She is putting someone's eye out. Someone said she could put her own eye out.
And yet again, pale skin, pale dress.
Yeah.
This is
pale
like
background.
the vibe for tonight. And like, is this just a thing we haven't noticed? Or is it a current trend that like people are going
It's
for?
probably a current
I
trend.
really don't know.
Jeff, drive safely.
Will do.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jeff.
Bye. I think Kelly's implying I'm being mean. I I love Natasha Lyonne in what I've seen her do. She's amazing. But this really does look like pinata fabric.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Julianne Moore looks classic
Yeah.
in this dress.
It's it almost looks like, and I'm sure it's not.
She is
it's just
very
the structure.
pale against a pale background, wearing a very brightly colored dress.
But she's got a brightly colored dress, which adds color to her skin, I think.
Yeah. But why is her hair just in a ponytail?
She ran out of time.
I mean, if she put her hair in a French twist, I just feel like it would look better.
Yeah. Well, and the dress too, and I'm sure this isn't the case, but it looks like it had straps that she cut off. There's just something about
It's interesting because
on
that's
it.
the same shape, at least from this angle, as my 18th century stays that I'm working on.
Oh, is it?
She wears it much better than I do, though.
That's funny.
And I love the next dress.
Okay.
When I first saw it, I didn't like it at all, but I really like it now. It grew on me.
That's
Janelle
pretty cool.
James. She's like wearing this black, maybe velvet, one shoulder dress, and then she's got these ginormous acid green sleeves. This is acid green, right?
Yeah,
This color. It's wild and fun, and this wouldn't be out of place at the Met Gala.
And she's from Abbott Elementary too.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm scrolling through her credits because she's not familiar to me.
I wonder if she had to take the sleeves off to sit down, because you would take up 3 seats with these things.
Well, if they are only attached to her arms and not the dress, you could do.
Yeah.
You could do the red carpet. And here, hang on a second. I'm gonna zoom in here, so that you can get an idea. I mean, each of those sleeves is an additional dress.
Yeah.
So I imagine she probably made it through the red carpet and peeled those puppies off, because
Yeah.
the only thing holding them on her arms is her arms. They're not attached to anything else.
Kelly points out that the sleeves are chartreuse.
Fair enough.
I'm never good with what chartreuse is. I always have to go look it up to make sure I'm not making a mistake.
I know this color from Cars, and they call it acid green or acid yellow.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah. So you weren't.
thought I made
you
that
weren't
up.
wrong. So, but no, I think it's a complimentary color choice for her. I think it's pretty great.
Yeah.
But my gosh, look at how much fabric there is in these.
The
This is
more I
nuts.
look at it, the more like I want to try this on.
Well, I mean, this wouldn't be terribly hard to make. Could you imagine
I'm
how
sure
much
it would
stuff
be.
you could put in those sleeves at Ren Fair?
It would be terribly expensive to make.
Yeah, well, that's cheap
That's a
fabric.
lot of fabric.
And what is it, silk?
and also
Like
you'd
so.
have to figure out like what to fill that with, because it's not just empty fabric hanging there. That's got something inside it.
Right.
Or maybe it's just backed with something really
It's
stiff.
filled
Who
with
knows?
squishmallows.
Wow.
She just hands them out.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be what Chaz would do if this was his dress.
Right.
Yeah.
Chaz would look stunning in that dress.
Here's another pale dress.
It's gotta just be the thing of the season.
Yeah.
That's all I
But-
can think of.
But this dress also, like some of the other ones, I only objected to the color. This one, I would prefer some of the other ones that I've said were, pale skin, pale dress.
I don't
I don't like this one very
I
much.
don't think that the design of the bodice is doing her figure any favor.
Yeah, I feel like it could be up a little higher.
She looks uncomfortable. She looks mushed.
She has, I think, too much of an hourglass figure for
For what this
this.
dress is.
It needs
Yeah.
to, like, if it just push up a little bit.
Right. She needs like kind of more of like a shelf bra thing going on. Because it's just.
But again, remember, this is just
I
like
know.
opinion. It's not.
Yeah.
We're not.
We are not trained professionals.
Yeah.
I just think she looks uncomfortable. I mean, were I, endowed, I would not want to look so taped down or feel so taped down. It just looks bad.
Simu Liu is very pretty to look at.
He's
And
always great.
He looks good in the tuxedo.
We can't tell, but he's doing Ken hands too.
He should be, yes. I'm not a fan of what Dua Lipa's wearing.
Hold on a second. I want to see what his pin is in the thing. It's gosh, I can't really tell. It's very interesting.
It could be a cat paw with its toes splayed out. It's probably not.
Nah, it doesn't have enough toes. But it's like, sort of got these little round points on them, and then there's like a jewel set in the middle. Can I zoom in even more on this? I cannot. They will not let me. Okay. Oh well. There we go. And who's this?
Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa. Okay.
And honestly, I just don't think that I like the little, like the designs that are on the front. The dress itself is fine.
She's primarily a musician, and this looks like a very musician kind of dress. To me.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to figure out like what the design is.
I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's like question marks.
Yeah.
And
ribs. Barbecue.
Yeah.
Kelly says she looks like a viola. And kind of. I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Florence Pugh, her dress looks good. She's done another one of those like see-through overdress, and she's got like a shorts thing. But I don't like her hair. She's got some sort of a rockabilly haircut, which is very silly, and but her dress is great and she looks great. I'm just not a fan of the haircut.
Yeah, kind of like sort of a waterfall look. And
It's neat. It's sculptural. It's just not, like not my thing.
It's not flattering, I feel. So, but yeah, I mean,
I really like Florence Pugh in Arrow Man TV show. Hawkeye. Yeah.
And she was in Black Widow, of course. And yeah, I like her work.
Yeah.
I don't feel this dress flatters her very much. But, I'm old and she's young and she probably knows better. Like, whatever the styles are now.
The next dress is worn by Greta Lee, and it looks like a 1930s style.
It does.
With the diamonds at her midsection.
Yeah. Here, let me get into her thing here. That's a full dress.
Kelly says her hair looks like flock of seagulls.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, so here's a zoom. I kind of like the clips at the shoulder, although it makes me think...
That's funny, I don't like those.
It makes me think there's a cape that's missing. That she needs to, like, clip something on to that.
I'd love to see the back of this dress, because there's clearly something going on the back of the dress that we can't see from this side.
But yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I wonder how attached the back is, because it does seem to flow down the back there, and I don't know if it like hangs loose until the waist, or if it's loose all the way down.
I need to get not Golden Globes, but like the red carpet pictures that show front and back, and like action shots and stuff like that. But I'm just grateful that Variety has this many pictures.
Yeah, oh my gosh, this is nuts.
Natalie Portman is in the next dress, and this has a ton of work on this dress.
My first exposure to this dress was a picture that Mark Hamill posted, which was really funny.
Oh, where he said he met his mom?
Yeah, so they were side by side, and he's like, thanks to the Golden Globes, I finally met my mother, in quotes, which was really great. Here's the full view of the dress, so you can kind of see what's going on there, where it just does a gradient fade into color by the hemline.
And this is like all...
Hand
it looks like
beaded.
it's all hand beaded. Yeah.
Well, to get a gradient like that, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Here's a zoom in, and they look like little stars, and I'm trying to figure out...
They look like little flowers to me.
What they they could
I think they're little flowers.
be. Yeah, maybe they are. It's really an interesting dress, and it gets really dense in color by the bottom.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
This one I would really like to see in person
Yeah.
too. I'd like to see the textures on
They
that.
they need to do a dress show off like they do with the Rose Parade floats,
Yeah.
where you just like go and you go look at the clothes everybody wore on mannequins.
Right.
It's really terrific.
That would be fantastic.
That's a Fitum thing. Come on, Fitum.
Yeah.
Although who knows what's happening with Fitum these days. But I think it's a flattering dress for her. I think it looks pretty good. She looks like she's sort of gone back to normal from the Thor movie that she did. I think she looked amazing in the Thor film where she'd like completely bulked out to play Thor. And so I'm mildly disappointed that she's. I don't think she needs to be completely ripped. I just think she looked better with the extra weight on. She always looks so thin to me.
Yeah, she does. Oprah Winfrey is wearing the next dress in the next image.
Wow, Oprah's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Oprah is trying for that sexy librarian look.
yeah, with the glasses.
Right.
It's funny, when I first saw this, I didn't like it, and yet this has such fabulous texture to it.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you what this is made out of.
Is this, well, it looks like velvet, and it looks like there's a pattern burned into it.
Yeah, it's probably, I mean, it could be burnout velvet.
But it looks like it's done like really intentionally. Whatever the pattern is, it looks like they've done it from a bunch of different directions to get a lot of great things. And what's really interesting about this, from an artistic standpoint, is that the highlights are backwards from what you usually do to make somebody look thinner. Now, I think she looks amazing, and we've certainly seen her weight go up and down over the years. And this is one
Certainly where it should be right now.
This
'cause she looks amazing.
This is one of the best looks she's ever had.
Yeah.
That Oprah Winfrey's ever had. But when you look at this design on the dress, the highlights on the sides of the dress that are showing up, that's a thing you do to make someone look whiter. Because what you want the sides of the dress to look darker to make you look thinner. And the design of this dress is backwards from that kind of design concept, yet she still looks amazing. She's in like really amazing shape.
Yeah.
So, go her. That's pretty cool. And she's got the thing going on. I don't know how old Oprah Winfrey is. But we were talking about this
69
earlier.
years old.
We were talking about this earlier.
I want to look like that when I'm 69
Right?
years old.
Right? Holy cow. We're like 10 years off of that.
My
and
skin already looks like 100 years older than Oprah.
we look like hell. Yeah. And she looks freaking amazing. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure it doesn't hurt that she's got like, a whole crew
Stylist and stuff.
of people to keep her
Probably
looking,
takes better
looking
care of her
amazing.
skin than we do.
And plus everybody looks great after you get out of the makeup chair. But yeah, she just looks pretty phenomenal. I'm not even like a huge Oprah fan. I'm not like I watch her show or I do whatever. She's just a celebrity I know the name of. I think she looks terrific.
Yeah.
So and it's simple but it's glamorous and it's really cool. I think she really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal is
That
next,
dude again. Oh my god.
and he has got
What did he do
a
to his
wacky
arm?
shirt and his arm in a sling. I said that to you before the show, and you blew me off. I don't think you heard me.
I did not hear you. What's his name? Who just got the star on the Walk of Fame?
The Green Goblin.
Right. It was Willem Dafoe, and I don't think I noticed. Yeah. Oh, so he was wearing like a coat over his arm. He had his arm in a sling then too. I don't know what that. What
A
that is all
reporter
about.
said, "What happened to you?" And he said, "I fell."
I fell. Yeah, that's what we all say. We all say we fell. I think he looks pretty good. Pedro Pascal gets a pass on a lot of stuff because he's got that foreign debonair flair
Yeah.
that it works really well for him. So he always kind of he always wears quirky stuff, and we're like, but it's Pedro Pascal,
Yeah. He does
It-
always wear.
it's the
quirky
same thing with Diego Luna. We're like, oh yeah, Diego Luna. He's got that weird foreign flair. It's always cool. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh, but I am.
Oh, at the next one.
Yeah.
She looks like she stopped at this is gonna be mean. She looks like she stopped at the out of the closet thrift store on the way up there.
Honestly, what's hitting me here, and this is rude too, I'm so sorry. She looks like a ventriloquist dummy to me.
I think it's because the jacket is so big.
It's because the clothes don't
yeah,
fit.
the clothes are huge.
And like, look, I can completely. Oh, I didn't see the bottom. The bottom's worse too. So
Yeah.
so I can scroll down, and I am blocking the costume, and she's perfectly great. That's terrific. But it's the clothes are just like, they're breaking my head. I don't know what it is. It's just crazy. Who is this?
It's Billie Eilish.
Oh, didn't even recognize her. Did not even recognize her.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just the clothes are really huge, and I'm sure it's a
Yeah.
statement that she's making,
Well,
but I
sure.
don't know what the statement is.
Sure. Well, again, musician.
Yeah.
And musicians get to do crazy stuff. But
America Ferrara is next, and she looks lovely.
she does. She looks great.
She has got the Barbie hands going on.
Not as much. She hasn't brought
Not as
them
much.
to the front. They're just straight at
Yeah.
her sides. That's okay. I wouldn't count those as Barbie hands.
Oh, I would count them as Barbie
Really,
hands.
Barbie
Look at her-
hands
look
I
at her
feel need to
thumbs.
be slightly bent and sort of in
Look at her
front.
thumbs. No, she's doing Barbie
No,
hands.
she just has weird thumbs.
Casually. No, she's just casually doing Barbie hands.
Like the
She
chick
was in the
from
Barbie movie.
Transformers
She
has
has
weird
the
thumbs.
the option of doing that. Her dress was really nice. I like it. She looks really classy. Although I saw an article that said that the Golden Globes were like a prom, that nobody took any risks.
Right.
I think they didn't see Billie Eilish.
Right.
Right.
And so Lisa says that she wears oversized clothes to prevent herself from being sexualized. I think there's you can make a difference between being sexualized and being glamorous.
Huh.
And I've certainly seen, and maybe she just got tired of being sexualized or something. I've seen enough stuff where she's done music videos and things like
Well-
that where she's,
So this is a statement about that though.
yeah.
Because the clothing is clearly it's not awards ceremony look, and
It looks
I believe that it's a statement, like Lisa's saying they've been a thing for her for a while because she doesn't like her body being sexualized, and this looks like a statement about that. So.
right. Well, and so I'm looking up a picture here. I won't be able to find it now. Here it is. This is from her own Instagram, and it's not too long ago. And I think this is a terrific awards look for her. And it's a very masculine set of clothes, which is fine. And let's say she had a shirt over her chest there because she didn't want to be sexualized. Still would be very classy.
Yeah.
If she wore a white button-down shirt, completely closed, would still be very classy.
That's why I think it's a statement.
I think so too. And it's because the problem is that set of clothes looks like. Let me roll back up here for a second.
You know what it looks like?
That-
It looks like White Christmas. You know, in White Christmas when they do I'm coming back from the army.
Right,
or
and
I miss
they
being in
have the
army.
fake clothes that they stand and
Yeah.
sing behind. Yeah, but this suit of clothes looks like what we used to see like Alfalfa wear. They're little kid clothes. They're like little rascals clothes. And they're oversized, they're big to a comedic end, and they look like the kind of things that you would see in 1930s movies little kids wear. Buckwheat would wear this, Spanky would wear this, Alfalfa would wear this. So that's what I'm getting out of it. But, whatever this whatever this awards show thing was that she had just done was the beginning of December. And apparently lately, people have been asking her too much about, like, specifically about her sexuality.
Oh.
And she's like, isn't it obvious? Why do you keep asking me about this? She's like, yes, I'm queer, go away. And so this is probably a direct response to that. But she, if you run through her Instagram, she's got a lot of really, really feminine stuff that she wears all the time, and she seems perfectly comfortable in it. But when she does do something unusual, it does look like that that White Christmas thing. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole bunch of pictures like that where she's wearing something that looks like an apron and that kind of thing, and she's got that, you know, weird look there.
I have just become very tired.
Oh, okay.
And so,
well, is there anybody else you really liked on here that?
Well, I think that there are a lot of, like, Brie Larson just looks lovely.
Right.
Looks very 1950s in that. And there are other ones that are good. But I think that we should probably talk about Karen Gillan's outfit.
Okay.
Because Karen Gillan's outfit
Let
was...
me go find her. It's Matt Bomer. This is Rachel Brosnahan.
And I love all those buttons, by the way.
On Rachel Brosnahan?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, actually. Let's see. Karen Gillan seems to be way down. Well, Naomi Watts looks pretty good.
Look, basically, they all look fabulous in different ways.
Let's see. This is a couple that I always think is a really interesting kind of couple, which is Emily Blunt and John Krasinski. I think they're a fascinating couple.
Fascinating?
Yeah, just in terms of weird pairing that seems to
Really?
be
I
working
think they're
out
great
for them.
together.
Oh, I think they're great together too, but I think it's an unusual couple. They seem to be different. Here's Karen Gillan. We found her. Karen Gillan's clothing, her dress here, there's a full view of it, is definitely on the unusual side of things.
So, if I'm not mistaken, there are a bunch of petals that are sewn together to come up with that. And it's definitely like a statement dress.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you scroll down or up just a tiny bit, you can, the other way. There.
Up to her neckline?
To her neckline.
Okay.
The netting that her dress is mounted on is, like, visible there.
Yes.
And it feels like if she had a statement piece of jewelry around her neck, it would hide that.
Agreed. Or it should have gone up higher.
Yeah, something so that it wasn't quite so obvious
right,
and
okay
t-shirty looking.
But
Neckline.
yeah, it's not a great match for her
And
skin,
also,
which is usually what you want.
I feel like she's wearing such a huge statement dress. I don't know what statement it's making, but it's a statement of something.
Mm-hmm.
Her hair. You'd think she could have done something with her hair to make it,
Maybe.
but maybe that's part of
She
it.
also, and this is just me reading into stuff. Her facial expression also conveys that she's having her doubts about this dress. To me, she's just like, should I have worn this? I don't know. But I mean, it is kind of crazy, and it is a little awkward in that it's cut so high at the crotch that it's a bit of a problem for me.
I mean, I've worn things like the Elvira dress is cut up that high.
So these, to me,
When you're young, you can wear things like that.
these look like discs of like fake abalone or something.
Well, they could be. Could you imagine how heavy that must be if it is?
I don't think they're fabric. I think they're some sort of
Plastic or
like plastic material. Yeah. And we certainly don't see any stitches or anything. We don't see how things are like sewn together per se, but these look like they're some sort of textured material to me. So if it could be a lightweight kind of vinyl. It could be a lightweight plastic. But whatever it is, yeah, it's weird. And so, looking through the dress here to the black, which is the lining is black. I'm seeing some interesting construction stuff where, there's a couple stitches at the bottom kind of holding things together. And there's like a metal clip or something. There's some interesting stuff going on there. So yeah, I'd be really interested to see this, sort of up close and personal. It's obviously an insane amount of work. All these gradients of different sizes and things like that. My gosh, it's just absolutely nuts. A lot of her clothing have been like, she kind of goes through these little phases of spacey clothing and stuff. And it's just, I don't know if it's because she's so involved in sci-fi fantasy and all of that kind of thing. She's been doing Marvel stuff. She was in Doctor Who. She's done all this kind of stuff. And so she very frequently errs on the side of spacey. But this is maybe one of the most elaborate dresses I've ever seen. Usually I like what she wears, but this was a little strange, even for me.
Oh.
So
and the other person that I wanted to shout out, Angela Bassett, looked really good.
Angela Bassett, just looks amazing all the time. We watch her in 911, and let's see if I can get to her.
She has no right to. She's not in there. She's not in this list.
She's not?
I don't think she is. I saw her on a different list.
What? Wow, look at that thing. That's like Great Gatsby all over the place.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Well, I'm sorry. Maybe, let me see. Did she go to the Golden Globes?
Yeah, she's in a different.
Oh wait, I gotta see what Elizabeth. Oh, that's not bad. Although,
I'm not a fan of this.
I don't like the band in the middle.
I feel bad. I feel like I'm being mean
With
to
Olsen.
everybody and saying I don't like everything. So I guess that's how I roll, apparently.
Angela Bassett is here.
Oh, she is there?
No.
Oh.
I went and looked her up. This is a recent picture of her.
Oh, but that's not what she was. That's not Golden Globes.
No, I don't know if she was there at the Golden Globes.
She was. I saw a picture of her. Hang on.
But this is the dress I saw her in recently. So.
Oh, actually, if there
This
is a
is
picture
January-
of Haley Steinfeld.
January 10th is what this says it is.
Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah?
Take a look at her.
Okay.
I don't know if she's in that article though. You might have to look up a picture of her.
Yeah, I don't see her either in this. Unless I'm spelling her name wrong. Nope. Steinfeld, Golden Globes. Oh, here she is.
Yeah, Angela Bassett, should be standing next to Oprah. They both look very shapely, and she's definitely at the Golden Globes.
This? Don't stop. I'm trying to look at a thing. All it wants to do is give me freaking ads.
Lots of ads.
Let's try this again. No more ads. All I want.
While you're looking
Here
for
it is.
past the ads, I think she looks like a cross between Audrey Hepburn and her character from Hawkeye. So she looks like Audrey Hepburn who could kick your ass.
Right. That is true.
Yeah.
It is a pretty good awards dress, I think.
Yeah, and it's a court gown, I think. If you can have a sleeveless court gown, that the train on it is a court gown
And
train.
the
I believe.
the transparent gloves are an interesting choice.
Oh yeah, they are.
So.
I was busy looking at her look of "I could kill you."
Oh my God! Yeah, this is completely Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah,
It's totally. But it works well for her.
it does.
Oh, here's a side view. Let me see if I can get this up here for you. Or is it in the same article? Hold on. Same article? No. Hold on. Got it. That's a side view. It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's working for her.
I
think it's funny. I think she like walks down the carpet and she does a quarter turn to the right, and then her train is still out to the side, which is pretty cool. It's pretty classic.
Yeah.
Kinda dig it.
I think court trains are scary because I'm like, can you wear it more than once, or is it just so dirty that you can't wear it anymore?
I don't know. Or maybe there's a replaceable panel at the bottom or something.
Yeah.
There's Lenny Kravitz with his clothes on. We determined that he's got a video for a song that's called TK421, which is of course the stormtrooper on the Death Star that Luke or Han steal the armor from, and so he's got this TK421 song, and he's naked in the video, like actually butt naked, which is pretty funny. This is considerably more close. Man, that guy's thin. Lucky him.
So, Kit shared with me a video of Karen Gillan getting ready for the Golden Globes.
Yes.
That's way too much work.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
It's the worst.
She's got people working on her, doing her makeup and her nails and like facials and all sorts of things.
Okay.
It's a lot.
I like Palm Clementif
I don't like that dress.
from Guardians of the Galaxy. Her dress looks a little weird.
You know,
She's also a musician, though, right? She's a singer.
Karen Gillan's dress looks way better in motion than it did flat on.
Whose dress?
Karen Gillan's.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, but it took me away from that. Anyway, but I'm tired, and
It
so
is probably time for us to.
and I
clock
did
out.
find an image of Angela Bassett. She was definitely at the Golden Globes.
Oh, okay. In a better dress than I showed.
Yeah.
Okay.
She looks very 1930s glamour
Oh, that's cool.
in her dress.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And it's really easy for us to sit here and to critique everybody's clothing. We don't have to wear it, and so
And we don't have to spend thousands of hours in the gym. And
well, and the reality is too that most of the people
Yeah.
whose fashions we're critiquing, we like them.
oh yeah. This isn't a reflection on
and
what
we want them
people are. It's
to
just
dress late. But
their
that said,
particular dress for this thing.
really the only thing that matters is that they're happy with what they're wearing and they feel awesome in it. And that's it. So I hope that for everybody, whether whether their dress is of our taste or not.
And
we want them to
also,
be happy
whenever
with it.
you're looking at someone else, what they're wearing, remember that you're not necessarily the audience for what they're wearing. They're not dressing necessarily for you. They might have other people that they have in mind, and that's okay.
Oh yeah, completely. So not a problem. Gosh, we've gone like 45 minutes over time. So if you guys stuck with us for this long, you guys are freaking amazing. We always appreciate your company
You should critique our hair
when we do this. That's right.
and our hoodies.
If I lean forward, you can see the bald spot that's
Yes.
going on my hair. My hair
Fashionable hoodie.
thins out. Yeah, we've had a pretty good crowd tonight, all over the place, and it's we do this show for you guys. Like I mentioned at the earlier in the show, we don't get paid to do this. We do it for
Sean,
fun. So.
Chris and Laura are asking for the obits. that we skipped over.
Oh, because we did? Yeah, I can certainly do it. Let me pop over to our show document. It was pretty sad this week. We did lose a couple of good people. One, at the age of 80, we lost David Soul, who was part of Starsky and Hutch, of course. He was in the really amazing Salem's Lot, or at least I remember it as so, because, man, it scared the pants off of me back in the 70s when they did Salem's Lot as a really terrific,
it was scary.
like miniseries. And the Vampire was based on Nosferatu, which was super cool. He had a singing career, and had a couple of things hit the music charts, which were pretty good. He took a guy to court. A journalist gave a review of a play and said it was the worst play he had ever seen. But the journalist didn't go see it. He just wrote a review without actually having seen the thing, which was pretty show. And he did live theater in the West End. He played Jerry Springer in Jerry Springer, the opera in England. He had a great career, and we really did like his work and whatnot. It was sad news, of course, to hear that he passed, and his family has been saying that at the end he had just an amazing health battle that he fought really, really hard, and so sad to hear of David's passing. Somebody that I knew, Cindy Morgan, has passed away. She was in Tron, where she played the dual role of Laurie and Yori. She was here in the real world, and she was also in the Tron world. She was in Caddyshack as Lacey Underall. She passed away at the age of 69. I knew her from conventions. She was one of the people I always went out of my way to say hello to. She was one of those people who had to fight really hard during her career because she was one of those two pretty women who just got pigeonholed in a lot of roles and got harassed by a lot of guys. And it was the fact that she made it out of Hollywood eventually with her sense of humor and her ego intact was absolutely amazing to me. Sadly, she seems to have passed of natural causes back in December, I think, at the end of December. And of course, she worked with Bill Murray and Chevy Chase and Rodney Dangerfield and Ted Knight, who she just gushed about so much working with him on Caddyshack. He was such a jerk in Caddyshack, but apparently the nicest guy, and he was the guy who tutored her through her first movie in Caddyshack and how to work with the camera and how to do all that stuff and how to be a movie star. And she said the nicest things about him every time his birthday came up and stuff. She was having trouble with her landlord and things like that. Things in her personal life were a little messy. But things were getting sorted out, and everybody was kind of coming together in the fan community to help her out. We were organizing on Facebook and stuff to do that, and her passing away recently just really came out of the blue. None of us knew that was even a possibility. So we're really sad that she passed away. She was absolutely lovely and had time for everybody and was kind to everybody. It was really great. And the last one on our list was Adam Kanto. He died at the age of 42. And he was in Designated Survivor and Narcos, and most recently, The Cleaning Lady was the thing that he was in. He died of appendiceal cancer, which was something he hadn't made public to anybody. And his show was in the third season, and which he bailed out of because of his poor health. So Very sad news for a guy whose career was really just starting to take off. And that's it. That's our rest in peace section. We talked about no trailers today. We did no speed round or anything. We will carry that stuff on to next week. So we'll talk about it. If you're still here, you guys kick butt. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you next week. And I'll be on the air tomorrow for Docking Bay, or now for Good Morning Tatooine at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And we will wrap out the week with the music and the fun that we always do.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
Very tired, Colleen Kaylee Crosby. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby. As always, may the Force be with you. Thanks to everybody for being on the radio side of things. We'll say goodbye to you guys now. Have a great one.
Night.
And to you guys over on the video, I'll leave you with the credits. Thanks to Kit for all of her hard work. Keeping stuff going. And we will see all y'all next week. Bye.